Master Feng Wu channeled Phoenix divine blood into Feng Wu's body, transmitting his voice directly into her mind. Xiao Wu, for refining the 9 revolutions pill, only the Immortal Spirit Fruit remains. Once the pill is refined, you can cultivate again, and Master will be at ease. Feng Wu opened her eyes in a daze, murmuring, Master. Then she suddenly woke up and sat up, shouting, Master. Don't go. Xiao Ling, her personal maid, walked in and asked with concern, Miss, another nightmare. Feng Wu wearily got out of bed and replied, just remembering some things from the past. At that moment, someone rushed in, shouting, Sister. Sister. It was Feng Xiaoqi, the young master of the Feng family. He anxiously handed her a letter. A warning letter from the capital, Sister. Open it quickly and see what happened. Feng Wu looked at the letter and read aloud. The Crown Prince is on an inspection tour and will arrive in northern border city soon. At the mention of the Crown Prince, Xiao Ling gasped, exclaiming that high and mighty, virtuous and powerful Crown Prince is coming here. Feng Wu calmly continued, we just need to avoid him. It's just that the Feng family has always wanted to curry favor with the Crown Prince. I'm afraid they'll send someone from the clan this time. Xiaoqi anxiously added, send someone. We've already been driven out of the capital by the Feng family and thrown into the old mansion on the border. What more do they want? Do they want to exterminate us? Feng Wu calmly interrupted, what's the rush? Xiaoqi looked at his sister with tears in his eyes. If it were before, no matter who came, you could swat them away with one palm. But now your cultivation has been crippled. Hearing this, Xiao Ling angrily interrupted him, young master. Xiaoqi realized he had misspoken and quickly covered his mouth. Feng Wu didn't pay much attention to those words and smiled faintly. So what if my cultivation is crippled? Can't I cultivate again? At this moment, Xiaoqi's eyes shone as he looked at Feng Wu adoringly. Sister, have you found a way to cultivate again? Feng Wu confidently tossed the letter behind her and replied, no. Xiaoqi nearly collapsed from shock, seemingly suffering a grave injury, a trace of blood seeping from the corner of his mouth. Sister, where does your confidence come from? Feng Wu put on her outer robe and walked out. The Feng family will definitely come to northern border city to please Jun Linyuan. Without cultivation, Mother and Xiaoqi will definitely be bullied by them. The most important thing right now is to find the last ingredient as soon as possible, the Immortal Spirit Fruit, to refine the 9 Revolutions resurrection pill. I've been waiting in northern border city for 5 years, and it's about to mature. Is Jun Linyuan really just here to inspect the border at this time? Later, amidst the bustling activity of the capital, the Cloud Pavilion restaurant in northern border city was lively. Several young ladies at the next table whispered, is the news reliable? Is His Highness the Crown Prince really coming to northern border city? Another replied, I paid a hefty price for this information. Of course it's true. Otherwise, why would I be here before dawn? If I can catch a glimpse of His Highness the Crown Prince this time, then my life will have been worth it. He's the #1 genius on the Supreme Heaven's chosen ranking. Xiao Ling frowned in disgust at their words. That's all it takes for a life to be worth living. My lady was once engaged to the Crown Prince. Feng Wu hurriedly stopped her. Shoo, Xiao Ling, keep your voice down. We're here to investigate secretly, understand? Xiao Ling smiled mischievously and whispered, Miss, you mentioning this reminds me. I didn't know before that this dragon and phoenix spirit ring of yours could change our appearance in front of others. Suddenly, a stranger walked up to Feng Wu and said, oh, there's a seat here. Do you mind if I sit here? This person was Feng Jun, the little prince of Fengbai Manor. Seeing him, Feng Wu thought, Feng Jun, he's Jun Linyuan's best friend and one of the most powerful figures in the capital. Even he's here, huh? But Feng Jun just casually opened his fan and smiled. Just pretend we're not here. You can continue. Feng Wu couldn't help but look back. Pretend you're not here. Impossible. I'd better get some information from Feng Jun first and see if Jun Linyuan is here for the Immortal Spirit Fruit. The next table started gossiping again. Hey, have you heard? 5 years ago, that trash was abandoned by the Feng family in northern border city. Feng Jun turned around and asked the person, you're talking about Feng Wu, right? The woman sneered. Who else could it be? I can't believe she still has the nerve to use that name. Does she deserve it? Feng Jun then asked, is there something special about that name? The person explained bluntly, one is Jun Lin, ruler of all under heaven, and the other is Feng Wu, dancing phoenix of the earth. Just thinking about that shameless trash trying to ride on our Yuan's fame makes me angry. Yes. The Junwu CP is long gone. Feng Jun closed his fan and chuckled. Jun Lin, ruler of all under heaven. Feng Wu, dancing phoenix of the earth. Yun Wu CP. He then laughed loudly and added, "Oh, if our old Jun knew his name was linked with Feng Wu, I wonder what would happen." Just then, someone recognized him. Isn't that young Lord Feng? Feng Jun realized he'd let something slip and thought to himself, I accidentally revealed my identity. As soon as he finished speaking, the girls in the tavern erupted in excitement, swarming towards Feng Jun. Quick, grab young Lord Feng, and you'll get to see His Highness the Crown Prince. Feng Jun was surrounded by the throng of beauties, yelling in pain, "Are you all using me as a stepping stone?" Feng Wu and Xiaoling were also caught in the surge of people, clinging desperately to a pillar. Jun Linyuan has way too many fans in this backwater town of northern border city. Really? After a while, Feng Jun finally broke free from the crowd. He climbed onto the windowsill, attempting to escape, but looked anxiously towards the sky. A giant fireball hurtled straight towards Feng Jun, followed by a deafening explosion. Everyone around panicked and scattered in terror. What's going on? What happened? Feng Wu looked up at the sky and cried out in alarm. Oh no, it's the fire cloud giant eagle. Xiaoling anxiously grabbed her shoulder. The king of the eastern border of the frozen forest. "Miss, what should we do?" A massive wooden beam from the ceiling snapped in two. The beam plummeted towards them. Feng Wu quickly warned, "The Yunlai Tavern is collapsing. We need to get out of here." But through the smoke, a giant claw reached out, and the eagle's sharp eyes fixed on them. It let out a loud shriek, and thick smoke and flames filled the air. "I heard that last month the fire cloud giant eagle destroyed an entire village. Are we going to die here? This is terrifying." Xiaoling looked up, tears welling in her eyes. "Miss, are we going to die?" Feng Wu replied, "Of course not, because the fire cloud giant eagle is being hunted." The eagle glanced back fearfully at its pursuer. He coldly drew his sword, chanting an incantation, and countless blades shot towards it. A sharp glint flashed in his eyes. Each blade struck the fire cloud giant eagle fiercely. Completely on the defensive, it had no time to react, taking the full brunt of each attack. Just like that, it was blasted down below. He then slowly descended to where it lay. It was Jun Linyuan, the crown prince of the Junwu Empire. The aloof figure stepped on the eagle. The fire cloud giant eagle roared angrily. "Hit me anywhere but my face. Don't step on my head." But Jun Linyuan pressed down even harder. Finally, it whimpered softly, "Big brother, calm down. Don't step on my head. Crunch." His expression remained unchanged as he glanced coldly at the eagle beneath his foot. A group of admiring young women screamed frantically, "Oh my, His Highness is so handsome. Yuan, you're my god. Yuan, I want to have your babies." It was a true ancient fangirl scene. A bold young beauty, disregarding her reputation, reached out to him. "Your Highness, save me. I'm willing to give myself to you." But before she could touch her idol, she tripped and fell flat on her face. Thud! Just then, the fire cloud giant eagle's eyes turned blood red. The sharp-eyed Feng Wu noticed the change. She quickly shielded Xiaoling. Not good. The fire cloud giant eagle is going berserk. Run. The eagle abruptly sat up, extending its claws towards them, grinning smugly. Run. Where do you think you can run? It swiftly snatched Feng Wu. Xiaoling screamed in terror behind her. Mississippi Feng Wu yelled angrily at its face. "What the heck? There are so many people here. Why are you grabbing me?" It laughed loudly. "He stepped on my head, so I'm going to steal his woman." Feng Wu protested loudly. "You got the wrong person." "I'm not." The fire cloud giant eagle sneered. "Oh really? Isn't he here to save you?" Sure enough, Jun Linyuan was pursuing them from behind, his icy gaze fixed on the eagle. Jun Linyuan confronted it, his entire body radiating a sharp aura. Feng Wu was startled and looked back at him. Could he have recognized me? Jun Linyuan below chanted an incantation over his sword. His face was devoid of any emotion, and his eyes held a murderous intent as he looked at the fire cloud giant eagle. A mocking smile played on his lips as he swung his sword. But it was Feng Wu who was terrified. She screamed, clinging tightly to the eagle's claws, and shouted, "I told you I don't know him." After flying for a while, they arrived at the frozen forest. Feng Wu thought to herself, "We're at the frozen forest. This is the perfect opportunity to get the immortal soul fruit. I have to escape from this giant eagle's claws and get into the forest." Thinking this, she glanced back coldly. But sharp icicles flew swiftly towards the fire cloud giant eagle. Feng Wu screamed in terror again. Oh my god! Jun Linyuan had also stopped behind it. He glanced at the eagle, his expression impassive. It angrily issued a warning. Humans, you have repeatedly provoked me. Don't think I'm afraid of you. I am the king of the eastern border of the frozen forest. With that, it flew higher into the sky. You are nothing but an ant. As soon as the words left its mouth, the firehawk opened its massive jaws and lunged towards Jun Linyuan. Fong Wu could only pathetically cling to its claws, but what the firehawk saw was her mocking smile. Suddenly, Jun Linyuan was enveloped by a powerful force. He took out a purple gemstone and aimed it directly at the firehawk. Feng Wu, startled by the sudden surge of power, clung tightly to the firehawk's claws. Jun Linyuan, I must have had incredibly bad luck in my past lives to encounter you. Clinging desperately to the feathers, she thought to herself, I've had enough of these powerless, helpless days. I must refine the 9 revolutions soul-returning pill and start cultivating again. If this continues, forget the spirit fruit. Both this firehawk and I will die here. With that thought, Fong Wu finally sprang into action. She pulled herself up, leaped, and reached for the firehawk's neck, desperately trying to grab its feathers. Finally, Fong Wu secured her grip. Right in front of its face, she urged, listen, if you don't want to die, I guarantee we can escape. The firehawk retorted suspiciously, why should I trust you? I've captured you. Won't you seek revenge? Feng Wu patiently explained, didn't you see? He doesn't care if I live or die. If he pierces you with his sword and you fall, we're both finished. Just prepare some saliva, follow my instructions, and we might have a chance. The firehawk, seemingly convinced, agreed fine. Jun Linyuan was still pursuing them. Feng Wu glanced back. He's catching up quick. The firehawk turned its head and saw that he was indeed closing in. Feng Wu commanded, spit. On command, the firehawk spat at Jun Linyuan. Talk about fighting dirty. Jun Linyuan was completely caught off guard. Seeing the sticky mess, Feng Wu chuckled to herself. Haha, you really are a clean freak. Then she directed, he's backing off, fly. To the left, faster, 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 faster. Dive down, put some distance between us. We're almost at that towering waterfall. Jumping down will break our fall, and I can escape from you too. But she sensed something was amiss. What are you doing? It was actually trying to back out of their deal after escaping the pursuit. Suddenly, she was flung high into the air. Feng Wu's eyes widened in horror. Below, the firehawk had opened its massive beak, waiting for her to fall in. Seeing this, Feng Wu roared, trying to eat me. Choke on this. She pulled something from her bosom and threw it down with a sneer. You dare mess with me. It was a stone, and this stone gradually grew larger, lodging perfectly in the firehawk's mouth, rendering it immobile. Seizing the opportunity, Feng Wu escaped and grabbed onto it. The firehawk, with a mouth full of stone, whimpered silently. Now unable to fight dirty, it flew cowardly behind Feng Wu. She taunted triumphantly. Just wait to be killed by Jun Linyuan. I'm done playing with you. Bye. The firehawk's eyes widened in terror as Jun Linyuan delivered a fatal blow. His gaze was icy. After dealing with the firehawk, he assessed his surroundings. In the distance, Feng Wu had also successfully landed at the bottom of the waterfall. Jun Linyuan's lips curved into an almost imperceptible smirk. That girl with no spiritual power to actually break free from the firehawk's grip and jump down. Interesting. A moment later, a hand reached out from beneath the waterfall. Feng Wu, drenched and exhausted, crawled ashore. Mortal clothes became heavier when soaked, and swimming up from the deep pool had taken a lot out of her. She had to change quickly. She wouldn't survive the ice-wind forest in these wet clothes. After a while, Feng Wu had changed. She looked around at the scenery. Where is this? She then noticed the red creatures before her. Feng Wu suddenly realized the giant horned blood bees territory. If I use their queen bee for alchemy, I'll hit the jackpot. Thinking this, she hid behind a tree. This way I can cultivate sooner and avenge master. But they can gnaw a person down to the bone. I have no chance against them right now. Feng Wu peeked into the distance. Perhaps. But suddenly, a strange figure appeared. Who's wearing red here? What a brave soul. Then Feng Wu looked up at the beehive. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He's leading the swarm away. This queen bee, I must have it. With that thought, she flew straight towards the hive. After poking around for a while, the queen bee finally fell out. She was secretly thrilled. I got it. But the swarm of blood bees in the distance was returning. Feng Wu was terrified, her heart screaming, I'm doomed. Feng Wu desperately tried to process the queen bee. Then she quickly ran away, only needing to cross the giant horned blood bee territory. Suddenly, a voice came from behind. Hey, little girl, you're not dead yet. It was Feng Jun. He waved at her cheerfully. Hey, remember me. Feng Wu ran as fast as she could, her head down, focused on sprinting. Don't come over. Please don't come over. They'll smell the queen bee scent on me. But Feng Jun still grabbed her, grinning like a Cheshire cat. Why are you running? Wait for me. Feng Wu struggled angrily. Let go. Just then, the swarm of blood bees arrived. Feng Wu's face instantly turned pale, her heart screaming. I'm dead, completely dead. Why didn't you say you were a bee-attracting physique? Suddenly, Feng Wu was yanked backwards. Feng Jun wrapped his arms around her, chuckling. Let's go, let's go. Just like that, Feng Jun carried her away. After reaching safety, Feng Jun finally put her down and comforted her. All right, those giant horned blood bees didn't follow us. Don't worry. Feng Wu's mind drifted elsewhere. 5 years. Damn it, Feng Jun's cultivation has improved a lot. If I hadn't. But then she realized, if Feng Jun was here, then Jun Linyuan must be nearby too. She had to figure out what they were doing in the frozen forest. Her mind raced, and she asked, the frozen forest is super dangerous. I only survived thanks to you. Can you take me out of here? Feng Jun took the bait, putting on a troubled expression. Sorry, little girl, I have something to do here. I can't leave until I find what I'm looking for. Feng Wu knew they must have a goal, so she pressed. What are you looking for in the frozen forest? I've seen some maps of this place. Maybe I know where it is. The sooner you find it, the sooner I can leave here. Feng Jun crossed his arms, smiling. Aha, little girl, you're quite the smooth talker, but you definitely don't know what we're looking for. It's a treasure of the frozen forest. Hearing this, hatred surged in Feng Wu's heart. Treasure. They're here to steal the spiritual fruit. Just then, Mu Yaoyao walked over. Young Lord Feng, I found you. His Highness said it's time to go. Let's hurry. Feng Jun replied. Mu Yaoyao, you're here. Yao Yao asked Feng Wu with obvious hostility. Young Lord Feng, who is she? He replied, this is a little girl I just saved. Oh, right, what's your name? Feng Wu smiled and replied, Feng Xiaowell. Feng Jun said, look, this is the depths of the frozen forest, and you don't have any spiritual power. You definitely can't get out alone. I don't have time to escort you, so why don't you just come with us? Okay. Yao Yao rolled her eyes and pointed at her, saying, but this mission is super important. What if she's a spy? Feng Wu thought to herself, I have to go along with them and find a chance to steal that spiritual fruit. I need to play hard to get. So she bowed and said goodbye. Well then, third brother Feng, we shall part ways here. Farewell. Feng Jun fell for it again, grabbing her hand and then glaring at Yao Yao. She can barely protect herself. How could she be a spy? First, she was implicated in Jun Linyuan's affairs and captured by the fire cloud giant eagle. And then she was chased by bees because of me. She finally made it to safety, and you still want to drive her away. Yao Yao retorted angrily. What does it matter to us whether she can protect herself or not? Young Lord also knows His Highness's temper. His Highness would never. Before she could finish, Jun Linyuan appeared behind them. What are you arguing about? Jun Linyuan and an old master flew over. He asked coldly, Feng San, what's all the commotion? Feng Wu glanced at him, thinking, Jun Linyuan, how long has he been here? How much did he hear? Yao Yao looked at Jun Linyuan, her eyes filled with unconcealed admiration. Feng Jun, of course, rushed over with a beaming smile. Linyuan, this is the girl who was captured by the giant eagle a few days ago. Her name is Feng Xiaowell. She can't get out of here on her own, and we're partly responsible for this. So why don't we take her with us? Yao Yao sneered inwardly. With Jun Linyuan's personality, dream on. What kind of person was His Highness? To expect him to sympathize with a stranger. Preposterous. Just then, Jun Linyuan looked at Feng Wu and asked, you're not dead. Feng Wu didn't answer, only silently complaining. He saw me get crushed by the dragon before, but he didn't care about my life or death at all. Then Feng Wu said without hesitation, if I didn't die from that, I must be destined for good fortune. Let me follow you. Maybe I can bring unexpected gains. But as soon as she finished speaking, 3 pairs of scrutinizing eyes stared at her, and she could only smile awkwardly. Seeing that Jun Linyuan was just staring at Feng Wu without answering, Yao Yao gloated. I knew it. His Highness would never take an outsider with us. But then, Jun Linyuan looked at Feng Jun and said, you take her. You're responsible for her. Feng Jun couldn't believe it, following behind Jun Linyuan. Jun Linyuan, are you serious? You're really letting me take her with us. He snapped impatiently. Say another word, and I'll leave you behind too. Yao Yao stared at Feng Wu in disbelief. He agreed. Impossible. Meanwhile, Feng Jun was still chattering. This little girl is under my protection. I'm Feng Xiao-san. She's Feng Xiaowu. If I don't protect her, who will? Feng Wu also found it strange. How could Jun Linyuan agree so easily? It felt wrong. Just then, Steward Feng from the Crown Prince's residence spoke. Your Highness, we have confirmed that the treasure is in the Xianbing Valley. We just need to find the specific location. He responded indifferently. Good. Feng Wu's ears perked up. Xianbing Valley. No way. The spiritual fruit is there. As long as I get the spiritual fruit, I can cultivate. So, they continued their search for the treasure, climbing one mountain after another. Feng Jun kept following behind Feng Wu, supporting her. Little girl, are you really all right? You don't have any spiritual power, yet you can still keep up with us. Feng Wu smiled faintly and replied confidently, of course I'm fine. What'll be wrong? I'm very strong. Feng Jun hesitated slightly and suggested, how about I carry you? Mu Yao Yao immediately showed displeasure and said, if you can't keep up, stop early. Don't blame us for being held back. The further in we go, the more powerful the magical beasts become. By then, you won't be able to leave even if you want to. Feng Jun glared at her coldly. Why do you have the same foul temper as my cousin? Even Xian, he isn't as unreasonable as you are now. Then Feng Jun whispered to Feng Wu, she's just a pretentious hanger-on. She's my brother's cousin, clinging to the boss relentlessly. Don't be intimidated by her. Feng Wu secretly laughed in her heart and glanced at her disdainfully. Xian Yi's cousin. So that's how it is. Feng Jun turned his back to her confidently and said, don't mind her. You still have me. Come, I'll carry you. Feng Wu smiled and declined. Not yet, thank you. He was a little surprised, but didn't insist. All right, tell me when you need it. Don't be shy. Feng Jun's kindness made her feel even more guilty. Feng Jun is helping me so much, yet I'm using him to join the team. I hope I won't hurt him in the future. Time passed quickly, and before they knew it, night had fallen. They set up camp and prepared to rest. When Feng Wu pulled open the tent flap, she was stunned. Inside was a luxurious space, a high-level spatial magic only available to the royal family. One tent could hold an entire palace, but it was still far inferior to her master's dragon and phoenix space. Feng Jun pulled a chair over to Feng Wu and asked with concern, Xiao Wu, I saw you limping. You must be injured. Take off your shoes and let me see your wound. She immediately refused without hesitation. I'll do it myself. But before she could finish her sentence, he had already taken off her shoes. Oh, is it this serious? He looked at her reproachfully and added, why didn't you say anything earlier when you were injured? Don't try to endure it alone. Tell me if it hurts. Feng Wu felt a little embarrassed and replied, I'm fine, really fine. Brother Feng, don't worry about me. Jun Linyuan happened to walk over at this moment. Feng Jun naturally noticed him and called out, Steward Feng, quickly bring some hot water and ointment. At this time, Feng Wu was looking at Jun Linyuan with worried eyes, seemingly lost in thought. He glanced at her with an indifferent expression and then snorted coldly. Doesn't His Highness think I'm a burden and want to kick me out? Feng Jun, however, was still focused on treating her wound. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. It'll be fine soon. If your foot injury isn't treated, you won't be able to walk tomorrow. After taking off her socks, there was a layer of oozing blood on the bottom of her feet. Mu Yao Yao also stepped forward and said unhappily, her feet are like this. How can she keep up tomorrow? What burden? He interrupted her indifferently. This ointment was formulated by the imperial pharmacist. Even if it doesn't heal by tomorrow. But don't you still have me? The ointment is applied. Xiao Wu, be good. Don't move. I'll get you a blanket. Feng Wu giggled and said, thank you, Brother Feng. Mu Yao Yao, on the other hand, snorted resentfully. Mu Yao Yao watched Feng Jun's departing figure. Her gaze swept towards Feng Wu, filled with undisguised disgust. She shouted at Feng Wu in a hostile voice, you're ugly, annoying, disgusting, and so scheming. Hearing this, she couldn't help but raise an eyebrow and looked at Mu Yao Yao, asking him, what did you say? So in the eyes of others, Feng Wu had a face full of acne and ugly freckles. Mu Yao Yao repeated without hesitation, I said you're ugly. Yao Yao continued triumphantly, well, it's not your fault that you're ugly, but can you control your eyes? Don't be a toad lusting after a swan, coveting Brother Jun. With your face, you're not even worthy of being a maid for my Brother Jun. But she only received a look from Feng Wu, as if she were looking at an idiot. Oh, so you want to be a maid, that's why you're picking on me. Don't worry, I'm not interested in competing with you. you. Yao Yao's eyes were now burning with anger. You. Just then, Feng Jun walked over and put his arm around Feng Wu's shoulder, saying, "Xiao Wu, the tea is ready. Let's go have a cup of hot tea to warm up." But as he turned around, he gave her a thumbs up and grinned. Yes, just keep irritating her like that. At dinner time, Feng Jun fawned over Feng Wu. Slowly come, sit here by me. At the same time, Mu Yaoyao blushed as she handed Jun Linyuan a cup of tea. "Your Highness, this is a fragrant tea I specially prepared for you." Feng Jun suddenly interrupted. "Oh, did you receive the letter from my senior sister?" Then, looking directly at Mu Yaoyao, he added, "Your senior sister, Zhuo Qingyan." At the mention of this name, she exploded. "Don't mention my senior sister's old name again. Her name is now Zhuo Qingwan, the king of all birds." Feng Jun just smiled mischievously. Oh, what a powerful name. But does her strength live up to this title? Feng Wu, who had a blood feud with Zhuo Qingwan, clenched her teacup and muttered under her breath, "Zhuo Qingwan." Mu Yaoyao waved her hand dismissively. "Of course she deserves it. My senior sister is a chosen one, at the top of the spiritual sect rankings." Feng Jun scoffed. "Wow, so impressive, almost as impressive as us." Hearing this, Mu Yaoyao boasted proudly, "My master always says it's a good thing they chose senior sister Zhuo as the saintess of Biyun Palace, and not, the other one." Feng Jun feigned ignorance. She then revealed the secret, the little genius from the imperial capital back then. Hearing this, Jun Linyuan glanced at Feng Wu, seemingly unintentionally. Mu Yaoyao continued chattering. "The current waste of northern city, Feng Wu." Jun Linyuan just kept tapping his fingers on the table, enjoying the show. Feng Jun laughed heartily. "Speaking of which, I remember Feng Wu was so cute when she was little. Everyone wanted to take her home as a little sister." Meanwhile, Feng Wu just kept shoveling food in her mouth, thinking, "Are these people talking about me right in front of me?" Mu Yaoyao struck a pose and looked at Feng Jun. "Feng Wu was pretty when she was little. Do you think she's as pretty as me now?" he said with a straight face. "Her mother was the most beautiful woman in the imperial dance troupe. How could she not be good looking? With your looks, forget about comparing yourself to her. You're not even qualified to be her maid." Just then, Feng Wu choked, cough. "Brother, aren't you going a bit too far?" Mu Yaoyao, thinking she was being provocative, rushed up to her. "Hey, ugly freak. What's wrong with you?" Feng Jun immediately jumped to her defense. "Ugly. Our little Wu is adorable. Okay." Mu Yaoyao slammed her fist on the table and declared, "Fine. Once we're out of the mountains, no one leaves. We'll go to the Feng family's old house and see for ourselves." I, Mu Yaoyao, refuse to believe I'm worse than a waste. Only Feng Wu remained calm. "Such a bother. I still have to refine the 9 Revolutions soul returning pill. How can I attract trouble even when I'm doing nothing?" Feng Jun rubbed his chin happily. Oh, back in the day, Feng Wu was truly radiant, breaking all cultivation records. I remember she was already a 3rd-tier spiritual master at the age of 4, right? Jun Linyuan, who had been silent, finally spoke. 4th tier. Feng Jun suddenly realized, oh, right, 4th tier spiritual master. 4th tier at 4 years old. When we were 4, we were still just standing at the threshold, hadn't even touched the door to becoming a spiritual master. Feng Wu nervously took a sip of tea. "Can you guys stop talking about me? I'm not even a 1st-tier spiritual master now." Then Feng Jun reminisced further. Back then, I suspected Shuang Shower had a crush on Feng Wu. He would run to the Feng family every day with his sword, wanting to spar, but she didn't even remember him. At that time, my beautiful master was teaching me from morning till night. How could I have time to remember such trivial matters? Saying this, Feng Jun laughed even harder. It's a pity Feng Wu didn't like him. The person she liked was our boss Jun. Hearing this, Feng Wu almost spat out her water. Mu Yaoyao angrily interrupted him. "What nonsense are you talking about?" Feng Jun immediately presented his evidence. "I'm not talking nonsense. Feng Wu really liked our boss Jun back then. Once, she even waited for us specifically at the entrance of the Imperial Academy. As soon as we came out, she shyly handed over a 3 live stone and then ran away." Feng Wu was speechless. She could only grit her teeth at the loudmouth beside her in her mind. Misunderstanding. A huge misunderstanding. I already said I was delivering it for someone else. Didn't you hear me? Shy. When have I ever been shy? Stop making things up. At this point, Feng Jun propped his chin with his hand and said disappointedly, "It's such a pity that Feng Wu and Boss Jun's engagement was canceled." Jun Linyuan calmly took a sip of tea and replied, "It hasn't been canceled. The papers haven't been signed." Hearing this, He slammed the table in shock. Not signed yet. Wow. So that means Feng Wu is still your fiancé, right? Feng Wu beside him was equally stunned. He jumped up and down excitedly. Boss Jun, could it be? You actually like Feng Wu. Is that why you haven't broken off the engagement? Is it? But Jun Linyuan didn't comment, just dismissively push him away. You're overthinking it. However, the eloquent Feng Jun didn't give up, adding, I understand. Young Master Jun means Feng Wu is deeply in love with you, and you can't bear to hurt her, so you reluctantly didn't cancel the engagement. Hearing this, Jun Linyuan finally nodded in satisfaction. Feng Wu, at this moment, was speechless, her heart aching. Deeply in love, she thought. I'm deeply in love with him. When was I ever deeply in love with him? Mu Yao Yao was the most distraught. Why hasn't the engagement been canceled yet? She cried out. Feng Wu is just an ordinary person now. Decades later, she'll be a white-haired old woman. Your Highness, you are a divine figure. How can she be worthy of standing by your side? However, Jun Linyuan remained silent, his mood somber, offering no reply. She continued to press. The Feng family was too impatient, causing Feng Wu to have a mishap during cultivation, losing her phoenix true blood and becoming a cripple with no cultivation. Who could be blamed for this? Isn't it Feng Wu's own fault for being too ambitious? Feng Jun interjected regretfully. If anyone is to blame, it's the Feng family for being too eager for quick success. They rarely had such a peerless genius, and she was ruined just like that. What a pity. Understanding dawned on Feng Wu, her eyes filled with killing intent. So that's how it is. The Zhua family used this excuse back then, not only destroying my phoenix true blood, but also spreading rumors to slander me. They wanted to harm me and gain a good reputation at the same time. You really took all the benefits. Celestial Spirit Fruit. I must get that Celestial Spirit Fruit. After the meal, Feng Wu fell asleep, but she suddenly woke up. You're awake. A voice asked from beside her bed. Feng Wu asked warily, what's wrong? Feng Jun looked at her in surprise, thinking such strong, killing intent, but how? How did Feng Wu, an ordinary person, detect it? Just then, the slow, steady footsteps of a pack of wolves came from outside the tent. They bared their teeth, their eyes fierce and full of killing intent. They stared fixedly at where our group had camped. Inside the tent, Feng Wu glared at Feng Jun with hostile eyes. Feng Jun was a little surprised by Feng Wu's strange look. Such strong, killing intent. But how did little Wu, an ordinary person, sense it? Thinking this, Feng Jun straightened his back cautiously. Looking at Feng Wu, she realized he was now suspicious of her because she had sensed the danger. Bad. So, Feng Wu rubbed her eyes and asked innocently, Brother Fo, what happened? This made Feng Jun relax. He wiped his forehead, thinking, was I mistaken? Did she just happen to wake up in the middle of the night? Meanwhile, the innocent little rabbit Feng Wu was looking at him with her bright, innocent eyes. A moment later, he lifted the tent flap. In the darkness, countless red eyes were staring intently at their tent. The tent is surrounded by black demon wolves, he said. We might have become their target. Feng Wu copped Feng Yunis sleeve fearfully. Then what should we do? Vili di. I don't want to die. Feng Jun comforted her with a smile. The tent has a protective formation. It might get chaotic when the black demon wolves attack later, so stay inside the tent and don't come out. Feng Wu readily agreed. Okay, understood. But as soon as he turned around, her expression changed. That was close. Feng Jun almost saw through my disguise. I need to be more careful in the future, especially in front of Jun Linyuan. I always feel like he's staring at me, intentionally or not. A moment later, Feng Wu poked her head curiously out of the tent. Brother Feng, how's the situation? Why don't I see Jun Linyuan instead of Feng? Feng Jun turned around and answered seriously, Little Wu, we're in big trouble this time. A flicker of fear flashed in his eyes as he continued. This isn't an ordinary pack of black demon wolves. The people from the Dark Knight Palace have been following us. These wolves are most likely controlled by them. Feng Wu immediately thought of the Dark Knight Palace. They had always wanted to overthrow the Junwu Empire. Now that the Crown Prince was inspecting the border, it was the perfect opportunity for them to strike. Feng Jun further explained, although these black demon wolves aren't particularly strong individually, they're cunning and numerous. It's inevitable that something will go wrong in a fight. If you're in danger, shout for help. As soon as he finished speaking, the black demon wolves stopped waiting and swarmed forward to attack. Feng Jun immediately channeled his spiritual power and met them head-on. They're here, he shouted. Looking at the black demon wolves poised to attack, he said to Feng Wu, get inside the tent. The scene before him was chaotic as he sent black demon wolves flying one after another. But due to their sheer numbers, the wolves were closing in on the tent, tearing at the fabric. Inside the tent, Fong Wu watched in fear as the rips in the tent grew larger and larger. There are too many of them. It seems the formation won't last much longer. Seeing this, she took off her ring. I have wolf repellent in my space, but it'll be hard to explain how I got it. If I take it out now. She glanced at Mu Yao Yao, who was sleeping soundly beside her, and despaired. She's still not awake. Who's the useless one? And who's the fifth-order spiritual master? But soon, the black demon wolves tore through the formation. They rushed in, and Feng Wu panicked. Oh no, the formation is broken. Just then, Mu Yao Yao woke up, rubbing her eyes. What's that noise? How dare it disturb this immortal sleep? But when she saw the black demon wolves, she screamed and clutched her blanket. How can there be so many black demon wolves? What do we do? We're going to die. But at this critical juncture, a vicious thought flashed through her mind. That ungrateful, meddling, ugly freak is here too. A malicious glint flashed in her eyes. In that case, let her die. So Mu Yao Yao raised her hand and shoved Feng Wu towards the black demon wolves. It's your honor to die for me. Feng Wu clearly hadn't expected her to do this, and a look of surprise appeared on her face as she turned to look at her. Then, Feng Wu was ruthlessly pushed towards the wolves' mouths by Mu Yao Yao. After Feng Wu regained her senses, a cunning smirk curled her lips. You want me dead? Don't blame me for playing dirty, she thought to herself, then grabbed Yao Yao's hand. She dragged her directly into the pack of aggressive black flame wolves in front of them. Immediately, Feng Wu screamed among the black wolves. Help! Immortal Mu, why did you push me? Feng Jun heard her voice and turned around. Without hesitation, he immediately cast a spell, annihilating the black flame wolves. Just then, they suddenly retreated from the area. However, Feng Wu was still on the ground, writhing and screaming enthusiastically. Help! Feng Jun walked over and looked at her amusedly. Stop shouting. They've already run away. Feng Wu immediately jumped up and looked at Feng Jun with adoration. I'm actually still alive, thanks to Big Brother Feng arriving in time. Meanwhile, Yao Yao collapsed on the ground, her clothes tattered, looking disheveled. Why did they only bite me? Why didn't they bite her? Yao Yao. Yao Yao was unwilling to give up. She grabbed Feng Wu's hand and accused her. Young lord, I saw her use her martial arts. Feng Wu immediately switched to damsel in distress mode, pretending to cry out in pain. Before Yao Yao could finish, she added, she's not an ordinary person at all. She's definitely a spy. Kill her. Just then, a voice came from behind them. What's all the commotion about now? It was Jun Linyuan. He looked at Yao Yao and coldly ordered, let go. Feng Wu immediately felt a pang of guilt and turned her face away. When did he come back? Did he see me use my movement technique? She thought to herself. As soon as Yao Yao saw him, tears immediately streamed down her face as she looked up at Jun Linyuan pitifully. Jun Gij, just now, to protect herself, she pushed me into the wolves. I almost died, but all she received was his indifferent gaze. On this side, Feng Wu was crying just as pitifully. My hand hurts so much. Everyone can sense that I don't have spiritual power, right? I'm just a mortal. How could I possibly push an immortal like her? My worthless mortal life may not be worth much, but you can't just falsely accuse me. Woo-woo, she said, secretly gloating, playing the victim. I know how to do that too. This trick won't work anymore. You're the one making false accusations, so don't blame me for giving you a taste of your own medicine. Yao Yao clearly couldn't believe it, and a hint of murderous intent flashed in her eyes. Then she lost control, jumping up and pointing at Feng Wu, shouting, stop pretending, you freak. Those wolves only bit me, not you. There must be something strange about you. Jun Linyuan finally spoke. There's nothing strange about it. It's just a coincidence. Yao Yao asked again in disbelief. What? On this side, Feng Jun also supported Feng Wu. Are you all right? Let me see your hand. Steward Feng also explained. Miss Feng has the scent of Frost 7 Nights grass on her. Black flame wolves are very sensitive to this scent. Miss Feng just happened to fall onto some Frost 7 Nights grass. That's why they didn't bite her. Yao Yao retorted Bu Fu Chi to Feng Wu. I don't believe it. How could it be such a coincidence? She's definitely a spy. She pushed me into the wolves. Feng Wu silently agreed with her. Of course, it wasn't a coincidence. I sprinkled wolf repellent on myself beforehand, and then used herbs from the Dragon Phoenix spiritual realm to mask the scent. That wolf repellent was personally concocted by me, Feng Wu. Steward Feng added. Moreover, judging from these footprints, their positions clearly show that Miss Mu pushed Miss Feng towards the wolves. Exposed, Yao Yao stammered nervously. I just want to test her. Meanwhile, Jun Linyuan sensed something amiss. His expression turned serious as he looked behind them. In the darkness, countless pairs of red eyes were fixed on them, and a lead wolf could be clearly seen standing on a nearby cliff. Seeing this scene, Yao Yao screamed in fright. How can there be so many black flame wolves? Feng Wu couldn't help but feel afraid as well. If there were only a few hundred, we might be able to handle it. But thousands like this, I'm afraid it will be a fierce battle. Feng Jun smiled faintly and said, It's the Dark Night Palace again. Only Yuminji can control so many black flame wolves. Yao Yao grabbed his hand in terror and asked loudly, What? Yuminji can control so many wolves by himself. But no one had time to explain such a foolish question. Feng Wu gave her a disdainful look. This fairy, you only need to control the alpha wolf to command the entire pack. At the same time, the alpha wolf howled. Feng Wu worried inwardly. Are they going to attack? Once the fight starts, Feng Jun will hardly be able to protect me, and the others won't care whether I live or die. I have no spiritual power now, relying only on my movement techniques and footwork. I'm afraid I won't last long. It seems I have to bring out my trump card soon. Thinking of this, she glanced at Jun Linyuan surreptitiously. But I must be careful not to let him discover any flaws, or he will be the first to kill me. Just then, Jun Linyuan suddenly exclaimed. Feng Wu looked around at the surrounding mountains and echoed. They've been surrounded by black flame wolves. She couldn't help but think, the entire mountain is covered in black flame wolves. Where should we go? Feng Jun put his hand on her shoulder and comforted her. Don't worry. Boss Jun probably saw through Yuminji's tricks long ago. He definitely has a way to deal with it. Let's go. Jun Linyuan simply stood there, making no further movements. He stared directly into the eyes of the black obsidian wolf. Its eyes returned to their normal color. The surrounding scenery also changed, and the sinister aura gradually dissipated. So, they continued towards the glacial canyon. Along the way, Feng Wu thought, Jun Linyuan can easily break the beast-taming technique. His strength is even greater than I imagined. It won't be easy to get the spiritual fruit from him. Just then, a streak of blood appeared under Feng Wu's foot, and a sharp pain shot through her. The wound on the sole of her foot had split open. Without the support of spiritual power, her body was becoming increasingly weak. Her vision gradually darkened, but her will remained firm. I must keep up with them, or I won't have a chance to get the spiritual fruit. Feng Jun said to Jun Linyuan, Boss Jun, it seems your strategy was very effective. Yuminji must have already reached the glacial canyon. He wanted to stop us, so he risked controlling the alpha wolf just now. Because he broke the beast-taming technique, he suffered the backlash. Feng Wu also understood the implication of these words. Feng Jun once said that the people from the Dark Night Palace have been monitoring us. It seems that Jun Linyuan deliberately led them to the glacial canyon to clear the way for us. But every time I've come here in the past few years, the Azure Netherworld Python has been guarding it, making it impossible to approach. Based on the timing, it's about to ascend to the 9th rank soon. I'm afraid even Jun Linyuan doesn't stand a chance against it. Using the enemy to lure away the Azure Netherworld Python is the best method. But doesn't the Dark Night Palace want to assassinate Jun Linyuan? Why are they also after the spiritual fruit? Mu Yao Yao suddenly cried out beside Feng Jun, What? Yuminji has already reached the glacial canyon. What if he gets the spiritual fruit first? Feng Jun sarcastically covered his ears and retorted, so loud. My ears are about to explode. What are you so anxious about? Boss has his own plans. Walking behind them, Feng Wu pondered, It seems I can only ask Feng Jun about this. So she hurried forward and asked, Is this Yuminji you're talking about very powerful? He is. After hesitating for a moment, he added, Yuminji's strength is second only to Boss Jun, but he's not content with being second. He always wants to snatch everything from Boss Jun. Moreover, he's capricious and only does things according to his own will. He has a group of loyal followers behind him, and they're very difficult to deal with. In short, try to run as far away as possible when you see him, okay? I always feel like there might be something wrong with him. Feng Wu, however, had a different idea. So Jun Linyuan has such a troublesome tale. Perhaps I can reap the benefits while Yuminji and Jun Linyuan are fighting. Feng Jun held Feng Wu's arm and asked, I noticed your complexion isn't very good. How's your foot injury? She replied, it's nothing. Steward Feng's medicine is super effective, worthy of being made by a royal alchemist. But inwardly, she muttered, sigh, if I could use the unique alchemy techniques Master taught me, I would have been healed by now. But that requires spiritual power, and it's really difficult to move without it. Just then, she sensed something. A snake, a huge snake, appeared below in the frozen valley. Feng Jun walked to the edge of the cliff and exclaimed, it seems there's been a fierce battle here recently. Mu Yao Yao added incredulously, a giant python. He added, this azure netherworld python has completely reached the 9th transformation. I wonder how long those guys from the Dark Knight Palace can control it. If it goes berserk, I'm afraid even if all of us join forces, we won't be able to escape unscathed. Feng Jun looked up and shouted, look, Boss Jun, it's the spiritual fruit. Feng Wu's eyes lit up. That was the spirit fruit she had been guarding for 5 years. As long as she obtained it, she could refine the 9 revolutions resurrection pill, restart her cultivation, and avenge herself and her master. Just at this moment, Jun Linyuan gave an order. Continue forward. He and Feng Jun then circulated their spiritual power and flew up the cliff face. Mu Yao Yao, from below, interjected, did I just hear a scream? Steward Feng chuckled. Really? Not long after, the two successfully obtained the spirit fruit. Feng Jun followed behind, grinning. Fortunately, young Master Jun suppressed Yuminji, otherwise we wouldn't have gotten it so easily. If that Netherlord knew he was the mantis stalking the cicada, with us as the Oriole behind, wouldn't he be furious? As they approached, Mu Yao Yao exclaimed excitedly, wow, is this the unique fragrance of the spirit fruit? However, Jun Linyuan only glanced at Feng Wu. Her gaze was fixed on the spirit fruit, so close, if only she could get her hands on it. Suddenly, someone attacked them from the side. It was Yuminji. He flew over, enraged. Jun Linyuan, you're scheming against me again. Whose foot stepped on my head just now? I'm going to chop that foot into mincemeat. Feng Jun was startled and blurted out instinctively, Netherlord. Feng Wu also looked in his direction. Netherlord. Then, her gaze quickly returned to the spirit fruit. Just in time. It's time to settle the score. Yuminji rubbed his forehead irritably, muttering, that Jun Linyuan, he's scheming against me again. He glared at Jun Linyuan, his smile twisting. Let's duel. The thing in your hand should be mine. But before he finished speaking, Yuminji suddenly attacked Feng Wu without warning. Feng Wu was stunned, her body frozen. Why is he attacking me? But she only heard a loud clang and saw a tall figure standing in front of her, blocking the attack. It was Jun Linyuan. Wow, I didn't expect him to protect her. Even so, the attack still had some impact on Feng Wu. At the same time, Feng Jun rushed over to support her. Are you alright? Feng Yun asked fluidly. Feng Wu clutched her chest, tried to keep her voice from trembling. I'm fine. Feng Jun is right. This guy is a lunatic. I shouldn't have trusted someone dressed like that. He doesn't even know what the weather is like. On the other side, Yuminji laughed like a madman, launching attacks haphazardly. Crown Prince Jun is actually protecting an ugly girl with no spiritual power. How strange. He grinned, adding, is she your little lover or something? Jun Linyuan simply stared back at him, stating plainly, let's duel. Feng Wu suddenly realized that was the 9 Revolutions Azure Netherworld Python. It was charging towards him frantically, the scene a chaotic mess. It was clear that the python had the upper hand. Feng Wu was shocked. That suction force, it's too strong. It wants to. Amidst the frantic battle, a vicious sneer appeared on Yuminji's face. The thing is about to be sucked away by that stinky snake, returning to its rightful owner. How does it feel? Well then, why don't I? He unleashed a cultivation technique with all his might, shouting, just let it disappear from this world forever. Feng Wu was terrified. Yuminji wants to destroy the spirit fruit. Wasn't he here to steal it? That's a spirit fruit that takes 100 years to cultivate. Old Master Jun, Steward Feng, and I were originally planning to stop them. The original plan was to wait for them to be both badly injured and then seize the opportunity. If we expose ourselves now, we will face the consequences of being hunted down, and I might not even survive. But ever since the Phoenix True Blood was destroyed, thinking of this, a look of determination flashed across Feng Wu's eyes. No cultivation, no spiritual power. It reminded her of the past, all the insults hurled at her. Back then you were a peerless genius, suppressing us so much we couldn't breathe, didn't even dare to fart. Now what qualifications do you have to be arrogant? Feng Wu is now a waste. making our Feng family a laughingstock in the capital. How could she still have the face to stay here? Of course, Fong Wu was not reconciled to such a fate. Abandoned by her family, driven out of the capital, her whole family, without strength, with no one to rely on. Then she remembered the obscene words those ignorant fools said to her mother. Second Madame Feng, your husband has been missing for many years. Perhaps he has defected to Northern Yanao and no longer needs your family. A beautiful, elegant, and charming woman like you. It's a waste to let her stay in that dilapidated room. Why don't you come with me? Feng Wu didn't want to recall those memories anymore. Her eyes filled with hatred. Anyone could bully her, trample on her. Obtaining the spirit fruit was the only way to cultivate again. She recalled her maid's comforting words. Miss, you've been working day and night for several days now, researching formations and refining pills. You've worked so hard and returned from the frozen forest covered in injuries. Please don't go back. Even then, battered and bruised, she had resolutely replied, no, most of the spiritual treasures needed to refine the 9 revolutions resurrection pill grow there. If I want to cultivate again, I must go. This time, I've located the celestial spirit fruit. It's the key ingredient for the pill, but it's guarded by a powerful magical beast. I still need to figure out how to subdue it. Now, Feng Wu struck out with her palm, murmuring, I don't have another 100 years to wait for the next celestial spirit fruit. By the time the next celestial spirit fruit appears, Mother, Shao Qi, Xiao Ling, what can I do to escape this predicament? Simultaneously, Shi and Yu Minji launched their attacks toward the celestial spirit fruit. How can I repay Master for the sacrifice he made to save me? The two forces converged. Causant a massive explosion. Everyone around was stunned. Who is it? This paralyzing poison is too strong. Feng Wu successfully seized the celestial spirit fruit. Against the backdrop behind her, she clutched the treasure tightly in her arms. Gazing at the item she had yearned for 5 years, she worriedly retrieved another treasure. However, this paralyzing poison won't hold them for long. Hopefully, the formation Ling set up can stall them for a while. After that, I can only improvise. But before she could finish setting up the formation, there was movement behind her. The holy serpent lunged at Feng Wu, who was momentarily startled and unable to react. So fast, Feng Wu was still fiddling with the formation disc in her hand. Then she stood up and abruptly hurled the formation disc at it. With a loud boom, Feng Wu seized the opportunity to turn and flee. That was close. Luckily, those 2 elders from the Dark Knight Palace had already severely wounded the 9 Revolutions Jade Serpent. Otherwise, this formation disc wouldn't even be able to withstand a single blow from it. Those 2 will probably recover from the paralysis soon. Feng Wu grabbed more spiritual treasures. From now on, she was on her own. Clang. At this moment, the only sound she could hear was the booming explosions of spiritual treasures. But this holy serpent was truly persistent, relentlessly pursuing her without pause. The holy serpent's roar echoed throughout the forest as it swept its massive tail towards Feng Wu. Without spiritual power to protect her, Feng Wu could only weakly endure the attack. Her internal injuries worsened, and blood trickled from the corner of her mouth. The 9 Revolutions Jade Serpent's poison resistance is astonishingly high. Poison alone won't work. It can only slightly delay its speed. I have to divert its attention to have a chance to escape. Without spiritual power to protect her body, she was reaching her limit. Ugh. Just then, Yu Minji, who was behind her, let out a mocking laugh. Jun Linyuan's little lover is truly something else. Behind her were Jun Linyuan and Yu Minji. He added, with just a few years of cultivation, you won't get far. Feng Wu thought anxiously. Oh no, those 2 devils have caught up as well. Yu Minji grinned, looking at Jun Linyuan. Interesting. I'll take this ugly, poison-covered girl. Jun Linyuan won't mind, will he? Jun Linyuan didn't reply, only delivering a heavy blow to him. Seizing this opportunity, Feng Wu hurriedly fled. The celestial spirit fruit is on me. They won't dare kill me. Perhaps this is a chance to divert the holy serpent's attention and maybe even eliminate one of them. Thinking this, she didn't hesitate to open another packet of poison, but Yu Minji dodged it. He laughed smugly, flying straight toward her. Has no one ever told you not to use the same trick twice? Then he grabbed her shoulder. Got you. But his smugness didn't last long, as a flicker of terror flashed in his eyes. He stared at his poison-covered hand, muttering, this ugly girl has quite a few tricks up her sleeve. This is corrosive poison, and it seems there's also... Then, Yu Minji looked behind him, only to see the holy serpent lunging towards him. Snake attracting powder. Yu Minji completely lost his composure, screaming, "You little brat, using me as bait." Feng Wu was fleeing at full speed, attempting to leave Yu Minji to deal with the Jade Serpent. Then she just needed to find a way to shake off Jun Linyuan. After running frantically, Feng Wu finally found an exit at the bottom of a cliff. It was the northern border river. If she followed the current, she might actually be able to escape. "This is my last poison. I have to bet everything on this." Just then, Jun Linyuan was hot on Feng Wu's heels. Feng Wu focused her mind, clasped her hands together, and shouted, "Explode." A massive explosion ensued. Purple mist filled the air. Feng Wu narrowed her eyes, thinking uncertainly, "I detonated the explosion myself. Jun Linyuan definitely couldn't have dodged it, right?" But then, her eyes widened in shock. Jun Linyuan's attack pierced through the smoke. Feng Wu thrust the ring forward, thinking it impossible. The ring emitted a soft glow, gently touching the blue light. A protective barrier appeared, pushing Feng Wu off the cliff. Jun Linyuan's gaze turned icy. Feng Wu's disguise began to fail. That familiar face slowly reappeared. Jun Linyuan was stunned, his pupils fixed. It really was her. He desperately reached out to her, yelling, "Don't move." But Feng Wu's body went limp, and she plummeted downwards. Jun Linyuan stood at the edge of the cliff, hesitating, then muttered to himself, "Her spiritual artifact can block sword chi. It should be able to protect her, right?" Finally, with a splash, Feng Wu fell into the water below. A trace of blood seeped from the corner of Jun Linyuan's mouth. Feng Wu is still so stubborn, never admitting defeat. To create such a potent poison, her poison-making skills are even more advanced than I imagined. Jun Linyuan steadied himself and stood up again. "It seems my guesses all these years were correct." Her frequent ventures into dangerous situations, even risking her life to seize treasures, were all in preparation for her recultivation. Very well, it's time for the next step. Feng Wu's body slowly sank into the water. In a daze, she vaguely heard a gentle voice calling, "Xiao Wu." Xiao Wu. Hearing the familiar voice, she suddenly woke up. It was her master. The person looked at Feng Wu kindly. "Xiao Wu, you're slacking off again. Are you feeling unwell?" Feng Wu looked at her own hands and whispered, "Master, have I become smaller? Or all those past years?" She looked at her surroundings, murmuring in confusion, "A dream." The person in front of her stroked her small head and added, "Forget it. Cultivating the Starfall, St. King's scripture consumes spiritual power. Your cultivation is still shallow now, so rest for a while." Feng Wu stared at her master, tears welling up in her eyes, and said with grievance, "It really is Master Wu. Master." She rushed forward and hugged the figure she had longed for day and night. "Master, Xiao Wu missed you so much, so much." Feng Wu's master gently stroked her head and comforted her. "Silly child, hasn't Master always been by your side?" Feng Wu looked up at her master, sobbing, "Master, Xiao Wu is not tired. I can continue cultivating." The person softly soothed her. "Don't push yourself." She jumped up happily, showing off her spoils. "I'm not pushing myself. I will definitely cure it." Then she took out a celestial spirit fruit and explained with a proud smile, "Didn't you say the Starfall Divine Light is the #1 body refining secret art in the Junwu continent? It can heal any internal or external injuries, and even mend defects from growing up." As she spoke, she demonstrated it on a small bird's wound. Cultivated to the peak realm, it can even bring the dead back to life. Having said that, she looked proudly at her master. "By then, I can create a body from Master, and you can leave this dragon in Phoenix space." But before she could finish her words, Feng Wu's eyes widened. Feng Wu's expression was puzzled, and she stammered, "Your hair." "Master, what's wrong with you? Where's your hidden god blood mark?" Feng Wu's hand gently touched her master, but it was only empty space, and her own body returned to its normal size. "Why?" Her master placed a hand on Feng Wu's cheek and comforted her. "Xiao Wu, a difficult path is a form of tempering. You have pride in your bones and are unwilling to lag behind. But when you were young, your temperament was unstable, and because of your outstanding talent, many people catered to you, inevitably breeding arrogance. There will be many obstacles on your future cultivation path. Now my Xiao Wu has grown up, no longer that proud and impulsive little rascal. You've learned to restrain yourself, and can also shoulder the responsibility of caring for your family. Master, but is very pleased. Hearing this, Feng Wu looked at her master in alarm. Master, Xiao Wu has already picked the Celestial Spirit Fruit. I can refine the 9 revolutions soul returning pill and recultivate. Xiao Wu will definitely cultivate the Starfall Saint King scripture to the peak realm as soon as possible, and then I can create a body for Master. But at this moment, her master interrupted her. Xiao Wu, the figure gradually dissipated. The alchemical methods of the world can only cure tangible ailments. Feng Wu repeated in shock. Only cure tangible ailments. Tangible ailments. Feng Wu's master further instructed, the effectiveness of the Starfall Divine Light is closely related to your cultivation realm. Remember, do not use it beyond your level, otherwise it will endanger your life. Feng Wu could only suppress her emotions and replied, Master, Xiao Wu understands. Then she bowed in thanks. Her master added, Xiao Wu, take care of yourself. Feng Wu also woke up from the dream by the lake. Master. She held her forehead, feeling very uncomfortable. Was that just my dream, or Master's will? The Celestial Spirit Fruit is in my hand. I'll go back and refine the 9 revolutions soul returning pill, and I can recultivate. No matter what, I will not give up on finding a way to awaken you. By then, I will travel all over the Junwu continent. The world is so big, there must be a way. Cut to another scene. Feng Wu had escaped safely and had been secretly following that group for several days. It was incredibly boring, but she finally made it through. Although frightened, there was no real danger, and the mountain spirit fruit was still in her hands. Fortunately, that Ming-Yi suddenly erupted, saving everyone's life and instantly turning the tables. In the chaos, she successfully obtained the treasure. Oh, and one more thing. In that mixed poison pill, she had actually added a bit of her specially made snake-attracting powder. Just a tiny bit was enough to make the jade, charm divine, snake chase him to the ends of the earth. She said this, smiling slyly. I'm sorry, Holy Monarch, only you can bear this deep affection. Hee. Feng Wu thought of Jun Linyuan again, the disdain on her face turning to disgust. Oomph. And that guy with a perpetually stern face, so infuriating. He even dared to say, I'm infatuated with him. What is he thinking? A mischievous smile played on Feng Wu's lips. If I ever meet him again, I must make him taste the poison I personally concocted to cure his annoying arrogance and narcissism. But thinking back, something felt off about this whole journey. Jun Linyuan had been observing her secretly the entire time. With his perceptiveness, he might have already discovered something. But if he had seen through Feng Xiaowu's true intentions, why did he keep her in the group and even deliberately protect her? Especially that time he stopped Ming Ye's sneak attack. And that last sword strike at the cliff's edge, it was clearly just for show. Thinking of this, her gaze gradually darkened. Jun Linyuan, what are you really planning? Just then, Feng Wu sensed someone approaching. The person called out, Little Wu. She replied cheerfully, Uncle Zhang, are you going out to sell these? He answered yes. Little Wu, what happened to the injury on your face? Feng Wu stammered, Oh, I accidentally slipped while gathering herbs on a mountain these past few days and rolled down the slope. He said worriedly, Oh dear, you have to be careful. If your Aunt Zhang finds out, she'll be heartbroken. She smiled and asked, by the way, is Aunt Zhang's knee still hurting? Uncle Zhang chuckled, It's not hurting anymore. The medicine you prescribed, she only used it for 2 days and the pain completely disappeared. I also heard that you can even cure illnesses that other pharmacists can't. Our little Wu's medicine refining skills are truly. Before he could finish, a little girl ran over, panting, Sister Wu, I finally found you. The little girl anxiously grabbed Feng Wu's hand, and Feng Wu softly comforted her. What's wrong? Don't worry, speak slowly. The little girl said urgently, Sister Wu, there are many strangers at your house. Feng Wu's heart sank as she understood. The little girl continued, Many people are surrounding your house, talking amongst themselves. Brother Zhao Qi and Sister Chu Ling were beaten black and blue by them. Outside the Feng family's old residence in northern border city, a group of thugs yelled, Get out. You worthless trash. Do you know who's inside? Daring to cause trouble here. Are you tired of living? This is Little Wu's home. You scoundrels broke into her house and beat her family. Have you no conscience? Little Wu saved our lives. Beating her family is like beating us. Listen, the crowd shouted indignantly, but the thugs kicked them fiercely. You dare defy us. Today I'll teach you lowlifes a lesson. Beat them. Inside the house, a bloody whip cracked down again. Chu Ling was covered in wounds, and Ichi beside her shouted, "Don't hit sister, Chu Ling hit me instead." A woman's voice rang out, looking smugly at Feng Ichi, who was gritting his teeth and holding up a stone slab. "Feng Ichi, hold it for 2 more hours. If your legs tremble, that little bitch will get another lash." It was Feng Lu, of the Feng family's main branch. She sat there eating fruit, her face full of smugness. "You and your sister are just bastards brought back by a concubine. What qualifications do you have to talk back to me, the legitimate daughter?" Ichi couldn't bear it anymore and angrily threw down the stone slab. "You dare insult my parents and sister. I'll fight you." But he was no match for several strong men. Feng Lu sneered triumphantly, still daring to talk back. "Do you think it's still the time when your sister was a genius? She's now a cripple, unable to even cultivate. Even if you fight with your life, what can you do?" Her expression turned cold, and killing intent flashed at her eyes. "Beat him." Just then, Fong Wu kicked open the door and stormed in furiously. "I'd like to see who dares to lay a hand on them." Ichi turned and shouted, "Sister." The townspeople followed behind Feng Wu, exclaiming, "Heavens, how could they be so cruel? Look at what they've done to Chu Ling. Oh my, do these young masters and misses usually treat us commoners like air?" Ichi ran to Feng Wu's side, his brow furrowed. "Sister, you're finally back. I'm sorry, I couldn't protect Chu Ling and Mother." Feng Wu asked coldly, "Where's Mother?" He replied, "She's locked in the side room." Seeing the murderous aura emanating from Feng Wu, Feng Lu stammered, Big Brother told me to supervise 7th Brother's cultivation, but he's too playful and refuses to practice at all. As his cousin, I couldn't bring myself to hit him, so I had to punish Chiu Ling." Feng Wu's face was icy as she said, word by word, "Feng Lu, after 5 years, you haven't improved at all." Without hesitation, she punched Feng Lu in the face. Feng Lu fell from her chair and glared furiously. You dare hit me. When my big brother returns, he definitely won't let you off." Feng Wu ignored her completely and warned, "You're nothing but a cowardly, vicious, and shameless person. Why shouldn't I hit you?" Someone helped Chiu Ling up and indignantly scolded, "Well done. Isn't this blatant bullying? This is called supervising cultivation. She's clearly taking advantage of 5th Miss absence to bully people. If you dare to do it, why don't you dare to admit it?" Feng Lu, seeing that she was in the wrong, stammered, You people." At this moment, Feng Ichi walked quickly from the Feng family's main courtyard and said gently, "5th sister, why are you so angry right after returning? There must be some misunderstanding. You haven't been home for 2 days, and there's been no news, making Big Brother very worried." Hearing this, Feng Wu sneered inwardly. Misunderstanding. What misunderstanding is Big Brother talking about? Ayn Rand came over and helped Feng Lu up, adding, "Indeed, I asked Feng Lu to supervise Little Seven's cultivation, but her methods were a bit excessive." He then looked at Feng Wu with contempt in his eyes. "I apologize to 5th sister." Ayn Rand then turned to Ayn Shi and said coldly, "But Little Seven is naturally smart and started cultivating in the capital long ago. Yet he's still only a level 1 spiritual master. He's usually too lazy, and, as his older brother, I naturally have a responsibility to guide him. I know 5th sister dotes on her younger brother, but too much pampering isn't good." The more he spoke, the more contemptuous his tone became. It's not good for him. Emboldened by Ayn Rand's presence, Feng Lu sneered, "Humph, I'm afraid her affection is all an act. Maybe she's jealous of Little Seven's talent and deliberately holding him back." Feng Wu watched all this and sneered inwardly, their framing tactics. They've been playing them for too long. But before she could speak, Inchi stepped forward quickly, shielding Feng Wu and loudly defending her. "Do you think everyone is like you? My sister is very good to me." She did this because Feng Wu reached out and placed a hand on his shoulder, interrupting him. Big Brother's words are truly touching. I didn't expect that after all these years in the capital. Feng Wu's expression turned cold as she approached Ayn Rand. Big Brother still remembers Little Seven's cultivation, so concerned as soon as you return. But I'm curious, how did Big Brother teach 6th sister all these years? The capital has abundant spiritual energy and resources, perfect for cultivation, Feng Wu said, her gaze sweeping towards Feng Lu. Yet even a defenseless person like me can defeat her. Then she looked at Ayn Rand again. "So, as an older brother, you either spoil your sister too much and can't teach her at all, or you're deeply scheming and deliberately preventing 6th sister from progressing so you can monopolize more cultivation resources." Hearing this, The surrounding people began to murmur amongst themselves. These two clearly have bad intentions, stirring up trouble here. Do they really think we're fools? Exactly. What kind of relatives are they? Usually indifferent, but as soon as they return, they want to harm others. Unable to bear the ridicule, Feng Wu cursed. You little bitch, I'll tear your mouth apart. But Ain ran, calmer, grabbed her arm. What nonsense are you talking about? With so many people watching, aren't you embarrassed? Feng Wu listened to these words, sneering inwardly, but maintaining a dignified appearance on the surface. Just then, a servant ran in frantically, young master, young master. Ain Ran asked impatiently, what's the rush? The servant reported, His Highness the Crown Prince has arrived at the City Lord's mansion. The City Lord requests your presence immediately. Ain Ran exclaimed, what? He then hurriedly followed the servant towards the mansion. Feng Wu thought to herself, Jun Linyuan, they didn't get the mountain spirit fruit. They'll definitely investigate Feng Wu. I wonder if he suspects me. If Feng Ichi tries to curry favor with him, he might invite them to our house. It'll be troublesome if they ask about it then. Inside the capital city lord's mansion, Ain Ran sat in a lower seat and said with a polite smile, I heard that your highness the crown prince slew a demonic beast a few days ago. That beast plagued the capital for many years, and now we can finally live in peace. Your highness is truly a blessing to the people. Jun Linyuan simply sipped his tea calmly. From beginning to end, Feng Jun on the other side maintained a casual, light-hearted chuckle. Young Master Feng, your second uncle used to be my father's lieutenant. I heard your second aunt and fifth miss are both here. I wonder how they're doing. He immediately switched to a friendly tone, replying, Thank you for your concern, your highness. They're both doing well. It's just that after fifth sister lost her cultivation, she's been wanting to move back to the old residence. We couldn't persuade her otherwise, so we could only ask the city lord to look after her. Consider it a proper arrangement. Feng Jun sneered inwardly. He had already grasped the secret intelligence, but didn't expose them on the spot. Feeling guilty, are you? Jun Linyuan remembers everything you've done to Feng Wu's family, all those dirty deeds, especially what happened to his beloved Ain Ran. Then Ain Ran added with a sigh, Alas, now that fifth sister can no longer cultivate, I only hope she can let go of those unrealistic notions soon, find a husband who cherishes her, have children, and live a peaceful life. As her older brother, I would be relieved. Hearing this, Feng Shun silently prayed for Ain Ran in his heart. Find a husband who cherishes her. Who would dare provoke Jun Linyuan? Feng Jun then looked at Linyuan, his face frighteningly cold, thinking, this kid must be tired of living. An oblivious official beside him flattered. An older brother is like a father. The eldest young master's love is truly touching. I wonder if the eldest young master would be willing to betroth fifth miss to my son. To be honest, my son has admired fifth miss for many years. Ain Ran smiled and replied, Why not? Your son is both talented and handsome, a perfect match for fifth sister. He then bowed to Linyuan to seek his opinion. With His Highness the Crown Prince and your highness here today, why don't we ask you two to be witnesses and settle this marriage right now? Feng Shun found it amusing, stroking his chin with interest. One throws the ball, the other catches it. Things are getting lively. This will be a good show. At this moment, Linyuan finally spoke, marriage witness. His icy voice was filled with killing intent. Are you aware that Feng Wu and I have a marriage agreement? Ain Ran finally realized the gravity of the situation, stammering, aware. After fifth sister lost her phoenix blood, the engagement was annulled. Linyuan slammed his teacup on the table, coldly interrupting, on the letter of annulment. He looked at the two, enunciating each word, I have yet to sign. Hearing this, their faces instantly turned pale, paler than wild vegetables. Later, at Feng Wu's place, the room was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. The main room was deathly silent. She looked at the person in front of her and said, Hey, thanks for standing up for me. Sister, Zhao Yang got hit. Let me bandage you up. He scratched his head, a little embarrassed. It's nothing, Sister Feng Wu. You've helped us so much over the years. This is nothing. Feng Wu put the medicine on the table and insisted, Sister Zhao Yang, don't say that. He still wanted to refuse. Hey, Sister Feng Wu, this isn't quite right. She directly picked up the ointment. What's not right about it? Didn't I also treat Uncle Zhang and the others? Zhao Yang gratefully let her apply the medicine. Sister Feng Wu, you're truly too kind. Those nobles don't treat us like people at all. Before he could finish, they heard Ain Ran's voice outside. Your Highness, This way, please." The door opened, and Yao Yao, seeing the scene inside, cried out, "Heavens! Why isn't this man wearing any clothes?" Feng Wu rolled her eyes, sighing inwardly. Why do they have to come at this time? This is so annoying. Yao Yao immediately started to put on a show, covering her face and crying in broad daylight, with no distinction between men and women. How shameless. Feng Wu helplessly covered her ears. What is going on in this girl's head? Feng Wu didn't react as dramatically as Yao Yao, but calmly said, "Welcome, Your Highness the Crown Prince, young Master Feng. I apologize for not greeting you sooner. I have a patient here. I'll entertain you too after I'm done." Linyuan looked at her, a hint of amusement in his eyes. She can remain so calm after stealing something. Interesting. Yao Yao continued to chatter, hands on her hips, accusing, "You're Feng Wu, right? You have no manners at all. As a young lady from a respectable family, you're casually touching a man's body. Don't you know that female apothecaries can't treat men?" Feng Wu didn't even look up, continuing her work. "So what if I touched him? The northern border is remote, and apothecaries are scarce. Ordinary people don't have your fancy rules. They don't care about these customs." Lin Yuan listened with appreciation. This girl has quite the temper. She's just my type. Yao Yao continued haughtily, "Commoners are just commoners, so uncultured." Before she could finish, Lin Yuan interrupted directly. "One says commoner, another says commoner. What's this about high and low? Do you know how much female apothecaries sacrifice during wartime? When there's a shortage of manpower at the rear, if they don't treat the soldiers, the country is finished. Do you have the right to talk about high and low?" After hearing this, Feng Wu saw him in a new light. It turned out he wasn't the cold and ruthless crown prince everyone said he was. Feng Yu, still standing to the side, finally mustered the courage to speak. "Your Highness, please move to the main hall to rest." Yao Yao nervously followed Lin Yuan, explaining, "Jinge, I didn't mean it like that." Feng Wu watched them leave, lost in thought. He probably hasn't realized that Feng Wu is me. Keeping the spirit fruit on me is too dangerous, and its potency will decrease over time. It's better to refine it today. Outside, it was bustling. Feng Wu sat stiffly, looking around. Feng Yu had been exceptionally cautious since returning from the city lord's mansion. She neither fawned over Jun Linyuan nor tried to step on me like she usually did. How strange, so strange. The more she thought, the more vacant her expression became. It's almost dark, and I still have to find medicinal herbs, but they haven't left yet. As if he were her savior, he finally asked, "We've been chatting for so long, but I haven't seen the second madam yet." Feng Wu felt a surge of gratitude. He finally asked. Feng Yu broke out in a cold sweat, afraid of saying the wrong thing and causing trouble. "She'll definitely suggest they leave quickly. That way I can go and concoct the medicine without any worries." Feng Wu glanced at Iran and replied, "Thank you for your concern, young Lord Feng. My mother is frail and already resting. It's not convenient to disturb her. And my younger brother." Iran hurriedly interrupted her. "I understand. It's getting late. Why don't we go to the Feng family's villa in the mountains? It's been newly renovated and has a unique view." Feng Wu immediately agreed. "Yes, our humble abode is simple, the food is plain, and we don't have much to offer. The villa is perfect. This girl is really anxious. The sun is almost setting, my medicine. If I wait until tomorrow, the spirit fruit's potency will decrease. Please just go." Her urgency caught Jun Linyuan's attention. With a smile playing on his lips, he casually asked, "Feng Wu, I heard you've been gathering herbs in Frostwind Forest these past few days. Can you tell me about the situation there?" Feng Wu understood. It seemed that even with Feng Wu forging evidence for her, it would be difficult to dispel Jun Linyuan's suspicions. This guy was really persistent. So Feng Wu hesitantly replied, "We only gather herbs on the outskirts. It's too dangerous inside for those of us who can't cultivate." He looked at her, his gaze deepening, then moved a little closer and continued to ask, "Really? A few days ago, a demonic beast kidnapped a young woman. She chased it into Frostwind Forest and killed it, but then she disappeared. Did you see her while you were there?" Feng Wu was taken aback by the question. Is he directly interrogating me? Does he already suspect something? But Feng Wu still replied, "I haven't seen her." Lin Yuan was relentless, taking another step closer. "I'm not familiar with Frostwind Forest. I wonder if I could ask someone to take me inside to look for her." She stole something extremely important from me. Fong Wu was so angry that she pushed that annoying face away, cursing inwardly. Extremely important, my foot. Why are you getting so close? Can't you just speak normally? But Linyuan grabbed her hand. This guy. Suddenly, a force enveloped them both, their heartbeats accelerating sixfold. Feng Wu had never experienced anything like this before. She thought, what's going on? It feels like our souls are resonating, energy flowing slowly between our bodies, as if pulled by an invisible magnetic force. They couldn't resist each other. Their lips drew closer and closer, almost touching, as if controlled by an unseen force. They couldn't separate. Heavens, these two are actually kissing in public. Linyuan finally couldn't resist, deepening the kiss, while Feng Wu's eyes widened in shock. Finally mustering her strength, Feng Wu pushed Linyuan away and abruptly jumped up from her seat, stunning everyone. Furious, she shouted Yao Yao. Yao Yao, standing behind them, pointed at her and yelled, Feng Wu, you're shameless. The two main characters were flushed, and Feng Wu frantically wiped the traces Linyuan had left on her lips. Yao Yao glared at her. You've lost your phoenix blood, yet you're still clinging to Jun Linyuan. He only pities you for constantly throwing yourself at him. That's why he hasn't broken off the engagement. Feng Wu wiped her mouth and sneered, really? Why don't you ask your Jun Linyuan? The divorce letter was sent directly to the Crown Prince's residence. Then Feng Wu turned to Linyuan. So why didn't His Highness sign it? She then rolled her eyes at Yao Yao and mocked. Or is someone holding it back and refusing to sign so the engagement can't be broken? Yao Yao was momentarily speechless. You're talking nonsense. Feng Wu stood before Linyuan and added, if there's no reason to continue this engagement, I hope His Highness will sign it as soon as possible. Faced with these words, both of them remained silent. Yao Yao, enraged and irrational, shrieked, how dare you speak to Jun Gij like that? What right do you have? Feng Shun quickly pulled her back, saying, all right, they're talking. This is your chance to excuse yourself. I'll take my leave then. A moment later, the door closed, leaving only the two of them in the room. Feng Wu broke the silence. Linyuan avoided her gaze, apologizing in a low voice. I don't know why. Just now, there was an irresistible force controlling me. I couldn't control myself, so I offended you. I'm sorry. Feng Wu didn't blame him, thinking, one must consider the owner before beating the dog. She decided to clarify the engagement first, so she brought up the signing. Linyuan frowned and interrupted her. I don't agree. Feng Wu looked at him coldly. The union of the dragon and phoenix bloodlines would indeed make Jun Linyuan the crown of the 9 continents. But I no longer possess the true phoenix bloodline. Even if you insist, the imperial capital won't agree either. Linyuan remained firm. I don't agree. Feng Wu was so angry she couldn't speak, her small hands clenching into fists. You stone-faced. You're taking advantage of the situation and still acting like this. You're forcing me to say harsh words. Isn't that right? She said without hesitation, her voice filled with displeasure. Your Highness, we can no longer connect our bloodlines. I don't want to be blamed or targeted because of this. She moved closer to him, a hint of hostility in her eyes. I've never liked you, and I never will. Your Highness, you should find someone else for the position of Crown Princess. Jun Linyuan turned his face away, his expression unreadable. He walked towards her and said, I will handle the engagement. I'm the one refusing to sign. I will never let those people make things difficult for you because of this. At this point, she was speechless, only able to watch Jun Linyuan leave resentfully. Why is this guy so stubborn? He suddenly appeared and disrupted my plans, and now he refuses to break off the engagement no matter what. There must be a reason. Feng Wu then pushed Jun Linyuan away, hurriedly wiping her mouth. Forget it. Just consider being bitten by a dog. It's no big deal. The most important thing now is to refine medicine and recover my strength. It's too late today to refine the 9 revolutions soul returning pill at home. They might come and cause trouble again. Tomorrow, I'll go to those 3 old geezers' place. I'll also ask them about the spiritual resonance today. This is so annoying. Stop thinking about it. Stop thinking about it. That night, in the Fong family's private courtyard, several pieces of paper were scattered on the table. Jun Linyuan picked one up. There was a mark on it, strikingly similar to the mark on Feng Wu when she was entangled by the zither strings. He stared at the paper with a gloomy expression. Jun Linyuan's gaze didn't waver as he thought. This silly girl, still the same as before. It was the letter Feng Wu, before losing her phoenix blood, sent him after being ambushed. It was a letter of termination of engagement. Feng Wu, that was who sent it. Along with that personality, proud and stubborn, Feng Wu disguised as a man. When he met her at the cliff, her words were always so hurtful. Even when she was covered in wounds, she would never ask for help. When their lips touched, their skin accidentally brushed against each other. Recalling that scene, Jun Linyuan lightly touched his thin lips. His expression was calm and determined. If I have to choose, I will only choose her. At this moment, Feng Jun walked in from outside. Looking at the pensive Jun Linyuan, Feng Jun couldn't help but wonder. Boss kept staring at this piece of paper before he left. Just how long was he spaced out? The last time he was like this was when he received the letter of termination of engagement, right? Thinking this, Feng Jun asked, Junge, how did your talk go just now? Jun Linyuan's eyes flickered slightly, his brows furrowed, recalling Feng Wu's firm attitude. I've never liked you, and I never will. Suddenly, Jun Linyuan slammed his palm on the table in anger. Seeing this, Feng Jun seemed to understand something. It seemed the talk didn't go well. He consoled. Everyone knows that the descent of the dragon and phoenix bloodlines is auspicious. It can help the Junwu Empire achieve long-term peace and stability. But no one knows why the dragon and phoenix bloodlines appear in pairs, or why this engagement exists. Jun Linyuan closed his eyes, interrupting him. What are you trying to say? Feng Jun replied seriously, Junge, you also know that although the true dragon bloodline can allow you to reach the peak, the price is extremely high. Even if you constantly suppress your cultivation, the true dragon bloodline will automatically absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. As your cultivation increases, there will come a day when it goes out of control. Only by uniting with a woman possessing the phoenix bloodline can it be suppressed. Moreover, there are so many people in the country eyeing the throne. As your brother, I really don't want to see you walk down a dead end. If Feng Wu doesn't want this marriage, I think it's better to sign the annulment agreement. Isn't there another person with phoenix blood? Although the Zhuo family and the second prince have a close relationship, Zhuo Qingwan does have the true bloodline. As long as we find a way to eliminate the head of the Zhuo family, the others will be powerless. Jun Linyuan raised an eyebrow slightly and continued. So you want to rush into the Zhuo family and blow them all up with your spiritual power? It's like a full-blown combo attack. He then patiently explained, the Zhuo family's influence is complex, and Zhuo Qingwan is ambitious and ruthless. It's not as simple as you think. There might be a turning point in these strange events that happened today. Everything is in our own hands. I won't put my life in the hands of others, and I won't marry a woman I don't love for this reason. Feng Jun sighed inwardly, realizing his advice had been in vain. Now that the Immortal Spirit Fruit is lost, this failed plan has been a waste of effort. He thought for a moment and said, Hey, Junge, do you think it's possible? Feng Wu is actually Feng Wu. Have you noticed? Jun Linyuan immediately puffed up his cheeks and widened his eyes in rebuttal. Impossible. How could that silly girl be her? It's not her. Feng Jun could only shake his head helplessly at this lovesick young man. Just how much had this child suffered? He then rubbed his forehead. Then what about Bauer's illness? I've already asked the city lord to interrogate Feng Wu and make her atone. It's all my fault for being soft-hearted and trusting that girl. Jun Linyuan said sternly, It's not your fault. I heard that the 3 medicine saints live in Northern City. Go and ask for medicine tomorrow morning. I also have something to ask for his help. The next morning, at Feng Wu's private residence, she looked at Ying Qi in a medicinal bath and said, This is your last medicinal bath. After soaking, sit down and circulate your meridians, and your body will become a true venerable wood body. Ying Qi thought of the siblings again and complained. They said sister is too strict with me and won't let me cultivate. How could they know how much effort sister has put in to transform my fake venerable wood body into a real one? Feng Wu patted his head in comfort. From now on, you can cultivate normally, and your cultivation speed will be even faster than theirs. He clenched his fists and looked at her resolutely. By then, they won't dare to bully us anymore. I will definitely beat them down. She responded with a smile. Sister is going to Elder Three's place to refine medicine and might not be back for a few days. Stay home and take good care of Mother and Chuling. He said excitedly, Don't worry, sister. Leave it to me. A moment later, laughter could be heard outside Elder Three's residence. Yo, girl, it really is you. I've been studying this ancient method for many days, and as soon as you arrived, you solved the mystery. I must treat you to some good tea. Fong Wu said politely, "Elder Bai, I actually have something I'd like to ask you." He replied, without hesitation, "Oh, are you encountering difficulties in refining medicine?" Feng Wu hesitated for a moment before speaking. "It's not about refining medicine. Before, I accidentally touched someone's skin, and my heart suddenly tightened. My soul trembled, and I couldn't help but want to get closer to merge with that person. That feeling was like a part of my body originally belonged to them." Elder Bai stroked his beard and chuckled. It sounds like little Wu has fallen in love. You're growing up and know how to like someone now." Feng Wu glared at him with some annoyance. "Elder Bai, can you please stop joking? I'm talking to you seriously." Elder Bai then turned serious. "Based on your description, it does sound like some kind of power resonance. I've seen it before in an ancient text. There's a long-lost secret technique called soul splitting." She repeated curiously, "Soul splitting." Elder Bai added, "That's right. It's a secret technique that splits the soul, but there's a resonance between each part. The ancient text says that when soul fragments meet, they attract each other, yearning to reunite. It's very similar to what you described." Feng Wu became even more puzzled. "Soul splitting. How could Jun Linyuan and I have split souls?" She asked again, "Elder Bai, where did you see that ancient text? Can I take a look? Are there any other possibilities?" Elder Bai pondered for a long time before answering. "I stumbled upon that miscellaneous book at the Imperial Academy. As for other possibilities, it might not be so mysterious. Such resonance is rare to begin with, and even rarer now. Perhaps it's just you, little Wu, who happens to like that person. It's a completely normal physiological reaction. Whoever falls for our little Wu is certainly not simple. Didn't you also drug the city lord's son and make him delirious?" He couldn't help but burst into laughter at this point, almost falling over. "His father often comes to me for medicine, but that guy is too lustful and wanted to force you to marry him. He deserved to be taught a lesson." Feng Wu stood up again and said, "All right, enough talk. Can I borrow your alchemy room? I need to refine a very important pill." "Elder Bai, please guard the door for me. Absolutely no one can disturb me." Elder Bai asked with some excitement, "Little girl, do you have some good medicinal ingredients again?" "No problem. I won't let anyone disturb you." A moment later, outside the alchemy room, Elder Bai muttered to himself, "What medicine is she refining this time?" There are triple barriers inside and out. Feng Wu walked in, smiled faintly at him, and replied, "My future." The alchemy furnace also started to operate. Feng Wu wiped the sweat from her forehead and thought, "The auxiliary medicinal ingredients are almost ready. Now I must be extra careful with these main ingredients. If the dosage or the heat is even slightly off, all these years of effort will be wasted. Not to mention, the Immortal Spirit Fruit has just ripened. If I miss this opportunity, I don't know how long I'll have to wait. So I must succeed this time." She focused her mind and started adding the wolfbane grass powder. Just as she added the new ingredient, a voice came from outside. "Excuse me, is Elder Bai there? I am Jun Linyuan, and I've come specifically to request medicine." The voice startled her. Fortunately, she steadied the spoon in time. Otherwise, if it had fallen, all her efforts would have been in vain. Feng Wu cursed under her breath, feeling irritated. Is that paralyzed face specifically looking for trouble? Why does he have to come at this time? She glanced at the alchemy furnace again. Once the furnace was started, it couldn't be stopped. Otherwise, the ingredients would be ruined, and she wouldn't be able to cultivate in the future. Other matters could wait. Feng Wu stroked her chin thoughtfully. But with those three old fellows and the barrier, they shouldn't discover me here. Deep breaths, calm down, focus. Outside, Linyuan greeted politely. "I have long heard of the three elders' great names. I have come here specifically to request medicine for a relative." The three elders across from him said, "An illness that even those old fellows in the capital can't cure, and you, the Crown Prince, have to trouble us." He replied sincerely, "It's a congenital heart deficiency. I wonder if the three elders have a solution." The three elders stroked their beards and sighed. "This illness is fate, and not something medicine can cure." Feng Jun patted his shoulder at the same time. Then Feng Jun asked the three elders, "Do you have any life-extending medicine or spirit herbs?" The three elders raised a finger and explained, "The treasures in the ice-wind forest absorb the essence of the sun and moon and can at least preserve life until the age of 20. You come at the right time. The Immortal Spirit Fruit only appears once every 100 years." As they were speaking, Feng Wu inside the alchemy room was startled. Yao glared at the three elders. Only Feng Jun and Linyuan stood to the side, looking somewhat awkward. Yao Yao blurted out, "The Immortal Spirit Fruit has already been stolen by that little thief." Jun Jie even suffered internal injuries because of it. The three elders looked worriedly towards the alchemy room. Could that little thief be that phone girl? She seems to have gone to the Icewind Forest recently. It seems you're in for some bad luck. This sounds just like something Feng Wu would do. His gaze had already attracted Lin Yuan's attention. As the three elders were talking, Lin Yuan glanced at the crack in the door. The Immortal Spirit Fruit, which only appears once every 100 years, is not easy to obtain for anyone. Who is that little thief? Inside, Fong Wu reassured her teammate nervously, "It's me, three elders. Hurry up and send them away. I feel like I'm being targeted." Linyuan. I took the Immortal Spirit Fruit to prolong someone's life. That person has a congenital heart defect and won't live past 10. It must be his little brother. I'm sorry, little guy, but your older sister needs it too. After I recultivate and the Spirit Mist Divine Fruit reaches a sufficient level, I will definitely help you mend your defect. Although that guy is annoying, a sick child is ultimately innocent. The three elders outside were still talking. I have a prescription here. You can find someone to refine it. Perhaps it can allow the child to live a few more years. Lin Yuan replied, "Thank you, three elders. I have another question I'd like to ask. Have the three elders ever heard of Spirit Mist Divine Light, which can mend defects?" Fong Wu was startled again, holding the Spirit Fruit she was refining in her hand. How does he know about Spirit Mist Divine Light? But in her nervousness, she squeezed too hard, and the fragrance of the Immortal Spirit Fruit suddenly spread, drifting into Lin Yuan's nose. The three elders hadn't noticed yet and were still explaining Spirit Mist Divine Light, a legendary ancient alchemy technique. I think it's just a legend. Feng Jun, however, had already caught the scent. This is the fragrance of the Immortal Spirit Fruit. Without a word, Mu Yaoyao shouted, "The Spirit Fruit. That little thief is inside." Feng Jun looked at the three elders and asked, "Who's in the room?" Inside, Feng Wu was frantically refining pills. "Since it's come to this, I can only risk it all. Even if there's danger in the refining process, I can't worry about it anymore." The three elders stammered, "It's an alchemist from the neighboring town, using my alchemy room." Outside, Mu Yaoyao cursed while attacking the barrier. "Open the door. You damn thief, come out." Jun Linyuan thought to himself, "I knew she would come here to refine pills. I absolutely can't let Mu Yaoyao see what she's doing." Feng Wu watched the barrier slowly crack and sighed. "Fortunately, I set up a triple formation, but the spiritual energy in the spirit stones is almost depleted." She hastened the refining process. "I can't save the spirit stones anymore. Faster, faster." The things in the room were knocked over in the chaos. Feng Wu worried that the next attack would break through. The 9 Revolutions rebirth pill is almost finished. Outside, the next blow indeed shattered the formation Feng Wu had set up. Mu Yaoyao couldn't wait and rushed in directly. "Let me see what that little thief is doing. Even if she ate the spirit fruit, she'll have to spit it out for me." But before she could push the door open, she was stunned by Jun Linyuan's sharp gaze and froze in place. "Get out." As soon as the words fell, he slowly pushed open the door. Seeing someone attack, Feng Jun shouted, "Jun Linyuan, be careful of poison." He tried to block the doorway with his body, protecting someone. He dodged the attack without hesitation, letting Mu Yaoyao behind him take the full brunt of it. She cried out angrily, "My face." Feng Yun Cove Willidly Yun Linyuan Ayuo lights. Through the pungent smoke, Jun Linyuan looked vaguely into the room. Feng had already covered her face and slipped out quietly. Her gaze fell on the spot where Jun Linyuan was standing as she pulled out the pill. Without hesitation, she swallowed the pill and turned to run. Jun Linyuan simply watched her leave in silence. Jun Linyuan's eyes darkened, and he clicked his tongue softly. "I didn't expect to meet her here." He then gave the writhing Mu Yaoyao a cold look. "It seems her pill is almost finished. No one could disturb her now." Mu Yaoyao, covered in itchy and painful red rashes, screamed, "My face. It hurts. The antidote. Go after her. Kill her." Feng Jun immediately chased after Feng Wu, but Jun Linyuan grabbed his sleeve. "Jun Linyuan, are you all right?" Feng Yun asked fluidly. "You haven't recovered from the last poisoning." Jun Linyuan just shook his head silently, indicating he was fine. Feng Jun understood his meaning. Meanwhile, Feng Wu had successfully escaped. Away from those 3 old geezers, Feng Wu gasped for breath. "Luckily, I wasn't caught. Although I saved the 9 Revolutions rebirth pill, I refined it too hastily, and the medicinal effect is too potent. Thinking of this, she suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. If I don't force out this medicinal power, my meridians will break. The scene changed to Fong Wu focusing on regulating her body. The pill toxicity was slowly transforming, and thankfully, the medicinal fragrance was faint. I need to find a secluded spot in the mountains to cultivate and recover. This trial won't be easy. Feng Wu pushed the door open and walked out. Experience is the best teacher. I must cultivate my temperament and stay calm in the future, or I'll really die without a burial place. She recalled Jun Linyuan's stiff expression and felt a bit dejected. Although that guy is a bit annoying, he can stay calm under any circumstances. That's something worth learning. I was so focused on saving the pill that I had no energy to maintain the dragon and phoenix spiritual domain disguise. Even with the mask, he probably recognized me. But why didn't he expose me on the spot? Just then, as she began to disguise herself again, someone was already secretly watching her from behind. Although Feng Wu had lost her spiritual power, she could still sense someone. This person was completely silent and was at least at the mid-stage of the spirit venerable realm. The other party knew she had noticed him, and his thin lips curled slightly. She actually discovered me. This little girl's perception is truly sharp. Feng Wu immediately switched to a friendly mode, asking with a smile, "Oh my, you startled me. Were you calling me, young master?" In reality, she had secretly hidden spirit stones in her hand, ready to transform them into poison needles and attack him when he was off guard. The man had silver hair and a cold expression. He looked at Feng Wu with gloomy eyes. "Young master, I helped you lure away that damned snake and was chased across several mountains. I barely managed to kill it. How can you forget such a great kindness? It truly saddens me." Feng Wu was taken aback and tried hard to recall. Lured away a damned snake. After thinking for a while, Feng Wu suddenly realized you're Meng Yi. He must have used a magical tool to change his appearance. But while she was still pondering, Meng Yi had already flown closer to her. "Now you remember me." Feng Wu was startled by his sudden appearance, thinking he's so fast. She watched him sniff her hair and said, "This young lady has never met you, nor have I seen any snake." But in her heart, she was screaming, "Hey, don't get so close." "Oh, father." Meng Yi chuckled, his voice low and playful. This is the scent of the spirit fruit, isn't it? It seems that Jun not only got played by you, but also hasn't been able to snatch it back these past few days." As he spoke, Meng Yi moved even closer, and Feng Wu instinctively stepped back. She stammered nervously, "Young Master Jun is joking. Who would dare to trick a member of the royal family?" Meng Yi replied with interest, "That little girl has the guts. Although she has no cultivation, she's very cunning, good at disguising herself, agile, and also uses poison." Suddenly, Meng Yi's eyes lit up as Feng Wu stealthily took out a silver needle, attempting to poison him, but he stopped her in time. Indeed, I almost fell for her trick. Having failed to poison him, Feng Wu could only obediently let him place his hand on her shoulder. "I like her very much and want to be friends with her." Someone shouted from afar, "Then hurry up and chase her. Don't dawdle." Another person chimed in, "Lord Jun is already injured. If she ambushes him, how am I supposed to explain it to your cousin?" Hearing this, Meng Yi asked Feng Wu, in surprise, "You have little tails following you." Feng Wu had to think of another way to escape. In fact, Meng Yi wasn't deliberately targeting her. He just wanted to see Jun Linyuan make a fool of himself. Since that was the case, Feng Wu didn't hesitate to grab Meng Yi's hand and whisper in his ear, "Since we're friends, it wouldn't be too much to ask you to hold them off, would it?" She gave Meng Yi a persuasive smile and asked, "Well?" Meng Yi placed his hand on his chest pleasantly, feeling flattered and in excellent spirits. "Friend, let's change locations." A cave outside North City. Feng Wu set up a protective formation outside the cave and said, "A cunning rabbit has 3 burrows. Luckily, I've already arranged a hiding place. I'll use a spirit stone array to cover the entrance, and passers-by will only see a cliff." Feng Jun made such a commotion earlier. It was like he was reminding everyone, "I'm here, run." Aren't they trying to save someone with the spirit fruit? They should be in a hurry. If Jun Linyuan is certain that I took the spirit fruit, but doesn't expose me and pretends to chase me, what is he trying to do? Is he playing me? Thinking of this, she suddenly shuddered. Ugh, the medicine's effects are acting up again. I need to refine it quickly and rebuild my cultivation, so I won't be so passive anymore. Meanwhile, Lin Yuan was sitting in his study, saying to Feng Shun, "Look at how smug Yu Mengyi is, mocking us. Wasn't he also played by Feng Wu and chased all over the mountains by the Netherworld Sacred Guards? That guy always puts on airs and never shows his true face. I bet he's originally extremely vile and ugly, yet he has the nerve to shamelessly boast that the girl hates you, but likes him especially." Hearing this, a cold glint flashed in Lin Yuan's eyes. Recalling Meng Ye's expression at the time, he covered his mouth and chuckled smugly. "She really likes this appearance of mine. She acted coquettishly and asked me to help her stop you." Her voice was so soft and charming. Lin Yuan slammed the table and said in a deep voice, "It's time to level the Dark Palace." Feng Shun secretly broke out in a cold sweat. This dangerous aura did its intense jealousy. Feng Shun seriously added, "Lord Jun, you didn't intervene when breaking the formation today. If the spirit fruit really falls into the hands of outsiders, how can you stand idly by? Actually, you've already figured it out, haven't you?" Feng Wu is Feng Wu. Seeing that he still didn't react, Feng Shun took it as tacit agreement. So he admits it. Last time he said it wasn't her, it must have been because Feng Wu wanted to break off the engagement that he was unhappy. He made me worry for nothing. He leaned forward curiously and asked, "Did you pretend to be injured today to cover for her? Could it be that Mu Yao Yao has been following us, and her real purpose is to be our informant? Her straightforward and innocent appearance really makes people let their guard down. Is she backed by the Zhou family or the Empress?" Lin Yuan placed his teacup heavily on the table and snorted coldly. "What's the difference? They're all the same." Feng Shun pressed further. "Then if Feng Wu refines the medicine's effects and rebuilds her cultivation, can she really succeed?" Lin Yuan replied confidently, "I believe in her. She will definitely succeed." 5 days later, Fong Wu rebuilt her cultivation in the cave. The surroundings were silent. Fong Wu was enveloped by a force, drenched in cold sweat, and a voice echoed in her mind. "The mistress has given birth. It's a baby girl, the true blood mark. Doesn't the Zhou family's child also have it? How can there be two phoenixes with true blood at the same time?" The voice grew clearer, "My dear. I only wish Xiao Wu could live a normal, peaceful, and happy life. The phoenix true blood is a curse to her. Luo, don't be afraid. His Highness values me greatly. As long as I make a name for myself, no one will dare to touch you or Jiao." Each voice seemed to tear at Feng Wu's heart. She subconsciously wondered if this was a memory flashback triggered by the medicine. Memories gradually surfaced, her parents holding her in their arms, watching her mother dance gracefully, the wind blowing, shadows swaying. The army setting off from Yinshan to the northern border. "May you soar high and chase the southern wind with peace of mind. May we be like the stars and the moon, shining together every night. When the moon dims, the stars will shine brighter, waiting to illuminate the night together again." However, the joyous scenes quickly transformed into a tragic night. "Madam, it's bad. The reconnaissance team, led by Master, has disappeared completely in Beiyin. Second Master is also gone, leaving only a widow and orphan. Won't old Madam and eldest Master be able to control them at will? Who knows what they're planning? The benefits brought by 5th Mrs. Phoenix Trueblood are too great." Grand Madam looked down at Feng Wu coldly and said, "Look, our Feng family has the Phoenix Trueblood. In the future, she will be the Crown Princess, the Empress. Now, we are about to join the ranks of the 9 great families. How many people are vying to curry favor with us? What does your little bit of something count for?" Blood trickled from the corner of Feng Wu's mouth, and she thought painfully, "Is this the end? Is this the trial of the heart demon?" Then Qing Yin appeared, looking enchanting, and said, "Xiao Wu, we will become the most dazzling dual emperors, standing together at the peak of the 9 continents. Where there is Feng Wu, there is Qing Yun, and where there is Qing Yun, there's Feng Wu, right?" Caught off guard, Feng Wu tightly grasped her hand. "Yes, where there is me, there is you, and where there is you, there is me. Like 2 jade pendants, never to be separated, right before her eyes." Feng Wu tried to calm herself down. She only had this one chance to rebuild her cultivation, and she absolutely could not allow herself to be trapped by the heart demons of the past. Qing Yin appeared again, murderous, her sword pointing at Feng Wu. "Who wants to be dual emperors with you? In this world, the only one who can possess the Phoenix True Blood is me." Feng Wu silently vowed in her heart, "Qing Yun, You betrayed our friendship. You broke our oath. Qing Yun proudly declared, "From now on, my name is Zhuo Qing Linyuan. Linyuan, Fire Phoenix, King of all birds. I, Zhuo Qing Linyuan, am the only Phoenix true destiny daughter of the Junwu Empire." Fong Wu frowned. So what if the foundation of my true blood has fallen to rock bottom? It's just starting over. She felt her master's protection and guardianship, and her heart became increasingly pure, dispelling all distracting thoughts. I will succeed. I must succeed. Master is still waiting for me. Just a little bit more, and the true blood will be reshaped. Then, Feng Wu's eyes suddenly widened. It could be said that the reshaping was successful. The true blood had returned to Feng Wu's body. Feng Wu stepped into the dragon and phoenix space, and before her was a house with hanging curtains. Feng Wu slowly walked over. After activating the Phoenix Divine Blood, she was finally able to enter the Dragon and Phoenix spiritual domain space. Everything here remained unchanged, as if she could still smell the sandalwood scent that Master loved most. She gently caressed each item left by her master, tears involuntarily sliding down her face. "Master, where are you?" Suddenly, a voice came from behind her, Xiao Wu. Feng Wu immediately turned around and called out urgently, "Is that Master calling me?" She quickened her pace and ran towards the voice. "That's Master's voice. Is Master still alive?" Her gaze suddenly froze. This is where I was first pulled into the Dragon and Phoenix space, where I met Master. Right in front of her, Master Feng Wu lay quietly, motionless. Seeing this scene, she choked up even more. "Master." She quickly ran over. Feng Wu shook Master's hand, her voice low. "It's been 5 years. I finally see you again. Why haven't your eyes opened?" Where she touched, a light suddenly shone from Master Feng Wu's body. Master's voice transmitted through spatial storage. "Xiao Wu, Master believed that you would be able to reshape your cultivation, so I left this wisp of remnant consciousness." Feng Wu hugged Master tightly and sobbed uncontrollably. Master, however, still spoke gently. "Although you can cultivate again, before your strength is sufficient, the wolves are always lurking. You must never reveal your identity. Master bestows upon you a spell that can conceal your spiritual power, making it undetectable to others. Also, this is a time formation disc, which can adjust the relative flow of time with the outside world, assisting you in your cultivation. Remember to stabilize your foundation in order to survive." Feng Wu clutched Master's sleeve tightly and asked urgently, "Master, will I ever see you again?" Hearing her voice, her master's figure gradually faded. Before leaving, she instructed, "We will meet again in the future. You must rely on yourself from now on." Feng Wu cried out in anguish, watching her master and shouting, "Master, how can I awaken you?" Her master's eyelids slowly closed, and she softly replied, "Xiao Wu, the divine blood will guide you. Take good care of yourself." Feng Wu nestled against her master's arm and replied, "Xiao Wu will remember Master's words. After I cultivate in Northern City for a few years and gain enough strength, I will definitely find a way to awaken you, Master. Wait for me." The scene changed, and she returned to the Feng family's old residence. Before she reached the main gate, she heard Iran running over, waving and shouting, "Fifth sister, you're back. Something big has happened." The Crown Prince took second aunt and seventh brother away. Feng Wu's eyes flashed with surprise upon hearing this. Feng Wu didn't say much and followed him into the residence. Behind her, Iran added, "Chu Ling tried to stop them, but she was seriously injured." Feng Wu thought to herself, could it be because the Spirit Immortal Fruit was stolen, and Jun Linyuan was so enraged that he took my mother and Shao Qi away to force me to submit? Inside the house, Chu Ling lay on the bed, her face pale. Feng Wu asked, "Did he say why?" Iran hesitated slightly and replied, "The Crown Prince said it was to treat someone's illness and that he needs to draw seventh brother's blood every day." Feng Wu's heart sank as she thought, drawing blood for treatment. Is it to treat his relative's congenital heart disease? Iran added from behind, "If it weren't for the good medicine, keeping her alive, Chu Ling probably wouldn't have survived." Feng Wu didn't quite believe these words, thinking, but Feng Iran's words may not be entirely trustworthy. Chu Ling is in this state. Could you not be involved in this matter? Chu Ling suddenly woke up and grabbed her hand. She weakly said, "Miss, you're finally back." The Crown Prince took young master and mad him away. "You want to kill young master?" Chu Ling's words startled her. Even Chu Ling said so. At this moment, Iran added, "Fifth sister, look, Chu Ling wouldn't lie to you. We must hurry and chase after them. If we're too late, we won't see second aunt and seventh brother again." Chu Ling also anxiously urged, "Miss, hurry." Feng Wu remained silent, her heart filled with doubts. What is going on? The more she thought about it, the more confused she became. No, there must be something fishy going on here. But Feng Wu's gaze was drawn to the color of Chu Ling's lips, that particular shade. Feng Wu immediately took Chu Ling's wrist and checked her pulse. Feng Wu's eyes instantly turned cold, and she muttered to herself, "As I suspected, there's a problem, Iran." Thinking that Feng Wu had fallen for their trick, Iran said, "If you're worried about Shui Ling, I can arrange for someone to take care of her." Feng Wu immediately refused. "Thank you, big brother, but I'll pack my things right away. We have to catch up with Jun Linyuan quickly." Afterwards, she circulated her spiritual power and cast a spell. "With my current spiritual power, setting up a small formation is enough. Let's see what you're really up to." Feng Wu discreetly left a connection on Iran. As Feng Wu left, Iran and Feng Wu pretended to wave goodbye. "Xiao will leave in half an hour." Feng Lu couldn't wait and turned to ask Iran, "Big brother, seeing her so anxious, she must believe us, right?" He coldly replied, "Chu Ling was drugged. She'll believe whatever Feng Wu says." As for Feng Wu, he sneered, saying triumphantly, "She won't believe me, but she will definitely believe Chu Ling." Although Feng Wu broke off the engagement, the Crown Prince wasn't angry. Instead, he warned Miss Mu not to make a fuss about the broken engagement. It seems the Crown Prince still has feelings for Feng Wu. I just didn't expect him to invite Feng Qi and her daughter to the capital. Iran clicked his tongue. Although Feng Wu is a waste with no spiritual power, I will never let her have anything to do with the Crown Prince. Feng Lu sneered. "That's why we set up this trap. Shadow wolves gather in the ice forest. We only need to lure out a small portion." His voice was icy, filled with killing intent. Feng Wu will surely die on her way back to the capital, torn apart by wild beasts, leaving no bones behind. Feng Wu, of course, heard their conversation clearly. She sneered, word by word, "I like to see how you're going to kill a powerless waste." But Feng Wu still had doubts in her heart. What does Jun Linyuan want with my mother and Xiao Qi? There are no signs of a struggle in the room, which means they came to an agreement. Their only value is Xiao Qi's Junwu physique. Could it be that Jun Linyuan really intends to use Junwu blood to treat some kind of congenital defect? Just like those absurd ideas of the imperial physicians in the capital. Feng Wu stood up and turned to leave. "I absolutely cannot let Xiao Qi and my mother fall into Jun Linyuan's hands. It seems I have to return to the capital." She suddenly stopped and added, "But before that, I have something else to do." Scene change. Jun Linyuan's carriage was on its way to the capital. Jun Linyuan, exhausted, fell asleep against the wooden side of the carriage. In his dream, he was sitting with Feng Wu. Feng Wu said seriously, "The inscription should be carved here, not there. Look, this is how the formation can truly function. If you want to maximize the power of the formation, in addition to the size of the formation's core, you also have to consider the materials. The higher the grade of the materials, the better the effect of the formation." Jun Linyuan watched, captivated, as the little genius explained everything. At this moment, Feng Wu looked up, her eyes meeting his. She softly called Jun Linyuan. Jun Linyuan blushed slightly, a little flustered. Feng Wu called again, "Jun Linyuan, are you even listening?" A strand of hair fell across Feng Wu's lovely lips. She boldly reached out and brushed it away, whispering, "Does your highness also want to learn about formations?" As she spoke, she swept the books off the table and threw herself onto Jun Linyuan, slowly pulling open his outer robe, her tone playful, like this. "Do you want to?" Jun Linyuan caught Feng Wu's hand, bringing it to his lips affectionately. He said, with a hint of disappointment, just like this, "I want to see more." Suddenly, a dark force pulled Feng Wu away. She looked at him, her voice fading. "I'm afraid there won't be a chance." That scene was deeply imprinted in Jun Linyuan's heart. He desperately reached out, trying to grab Feng Wu. Jun Linyuan woke up abruptly, his face filled with terror. Feng Jun asked worriedly, "Master, has the dragon and phoenix blood acted up again?" Jun Linyuan lowered his head, a sense of foreboding rising in his heart. "No, I have a very bad feeling." He immediately ordered, sent a message to Xuan Yi in the northern border, have him pick up Feng Wu, then have Steward Feng take people to escort Second Madam back to the capital. I'll return immediately. Scene change at Elder Ba's home. "Child, the things you want are all in this storage bag. Take a look." Feng Wu glanced at him. "Eighth grandfather, I trust you. I'm in a hurry, and only you have these medicinal herbs." She picked up the letter on the table and asked, "What's this?" The three elders stroked their beards and replied, "You're going to the capital. You'll definitely pass through Wamping Town. Do me a favor and take this letter there." Feng Wu asked with a half smile, "Do you hate your son that much?" Elder Ba was taken aback. "How did you know?" She held up the letter. "Doesn't it say so on the letter?" "Ba Jiaming, it sounds like Ba Jiandian, Ba Build Egg." Elder Ba stroked his beard, muttering to himself, "Why did I give him such a terrible name?" Then he waved his hand. "Jiaming has been angry with me because of his mother. Deliver this letter to him when you pass by." Feng Wu agreed and picked up another letter. "What about this one?" A man's name was written on the envelope. Yin Shirin. He's the dean of the Imperial College, the headmaster of one of the 2 super academies of the Empire, and is known as one of the 10 most powerful people in the capital. He's his disciple. The others are disciples of his grand disciples. Elder Ba replied, "More or less, they're all just empty titles." Elder Ba solemnly instructed, "Remember, this letter must be delivered to him personally, understand?" In truth, Elder Ba wasn't at ease with Feng Wu going to the capital alone, so he could only ask Elder Yin to take care of her. Feng Wu didn't refuse and accepted everything. Elder Ba leaned in and asked, "Don't you want to ask about my relationship with Elder Yin?" Feng Wu stood up and replied, "You didn't ask me what I needed these medicinal herbs for either." Elder Ba sighed behind her. "It's a pity you can't cultivate. Otherwise, with your talent and the help of alchemy, your achievements would be no less than Jun Linyuan's." Feng Wu smiled and turned back to look at him. "Eighth grandfather, you truly have a discerning eye." At this moment, she no longer concealed it and directly released her spiritual power. Elder Ba was slightly surprised. Spiritual power. Could this girl be cultivating? Feng Wu quickly walked out, leaving Elder Ba to ponder. Strange, if she hadn't deliberately revealed it, I wouldn't have noticed at all. I originally wanted Elder Yin to take Feng Wu as a disciple, owing me a favor. Now, I've sent him a monstrous disciple. Elder Yin now owes me a huge favor. Scene change. Feng Wu's carriage set off. Feng Lu and his sister arranged for them to sit at the very back of the carriage. Inside the carriage, Feng Wu took the opportunity to cultivate her spiritual energy body protection. She understood their intentions. They had originally planned to abandon her when the wolves came, but unexpectedly, they created a quiet cultivation environment for her. "I've already lost 5 years. I must work hard." The strength of a spiritual master, 4th rank, is not enough to deal with the enemies in the capital. I must become stronger. The divine blood on Feng Wu's forehead glowed faintly. In just a short while, she broke through to the 5th rank spiritual master. Looking at the results before her, Feng Wu was secretly delighted. Could it be because I've cultivated once before? Not only is my cultivation speed faster, but my spiritual power is also stronger than before. At the same time, Iran's side also began to move. From a distance, Feng Lu ordered, "Go, lure a few obsidian wolves from Death Valley and have them charge straight at Feng Wu's carriage." A subordinate replied, "Yes, Mississippi." A hint of disdain flashed in Feng Wu's eyes. "It seems my 5 senses have been enhanced. Although they lowered their voices, I could still hear them clearly." She smiled softly and lifted the carriage curtain to look outside. They're finally making their move. I deliberately didn't cultivate inside the Dragon and Phoenix ring, so I wouldn't miss this good show. At this moment, Feng Wu took out the wolf-attracting medicine from her storage ring, tossed it towards the subordinate's carriage, and then sat quietly, enjoying the show. She couldn't help but feel a little disgusted. Just a few wolves. "Feng Lu, if you're going to do something bad, can't you be a little less stingy?" Feng Lu waited for a long time. Seeing that the person hadn't returned, she started to get anxious. Why haven't they come back yet? They're so useless. Iran also felt a faint sense of unease. Meanwhile, in front of Feng Wu's carriage, the horses started to become agitated. A shout came from afar. "Young master, miss, wolves are coming." A large pack of wolves came rushing towards them, and the brother and sister's faces instantly turned pale. A pack of ferocious wolves appeared out of nowhere, surrounding their carriage. Even if Ran had spiritual power, he couldn't handle so many ferocious wolves. Where did these wolves come from? Feng Wu was in the back, her spiritual power almost zero, unable to protect herself at all. She could only plead with Ran, "Brother, save me." Ran turned the horse around, scooped Feng Wu onto the horse, and charged out desperately. Even with her life on the line, Feng Wu still gritted her teeth and asked, "What about Feng Wu? I want to see her die." Ran shouted back, "Idiot, with so many ferocious wolves, how could she possibly survive?" Feng Wu screamed from behind, "Brother, wait for me." The wolves pursued them relentlessly, like a furry, fanged torrent. Inside the carriage, Feng Wu was using her spiritual power to heal Chu Ling Feng. Ran separated us, so he could use Chu Ling to threaten me at any time, but it's also thanks to this that I was able to cultivate on my own. Chu Ling finally broke free from the illusion. Chu Ling mumbled groggily. "Mississippi," Feng Wu replied. "I'm here." Chu Ling sat up abruptly, her face full of terror. Madam and young master went to the imperial capital with the crown prince. Master and Nanny Zhao also went with them. I originally wanted to tell you immediately, but the eldest young master suddenly appeared. And then Feng Wu quickly comforted her. I know everything. You did very well. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have been able to give them a taste of their own medicine. Here, take this. Rest in the carriage and don't wander around. Chu Ling took the spirit stone. "Miss, where are you going?" Looking at Feng Wu before her, Chu Ling's eyes widened in shock. Could it be that Miss can cultivate now? Feng Wu's whole body was enveloped in flames, her eyes crimson. She stepped out of the carriage, her movements like lightning, her aura like a dragon, her momentum like thunder, her focus like flowing water. Inside the carriage, Chu Ling was ecstatic. She did it. She really did it. Chu Ling recalled the past, the time she brushed shoulders with death while gathering medicinal herbs, the days and nights she spent diligently researching, those near-death experiences and returns. Madam's 5 years of hard work finally paid off. Outside, Feng Wu was happily fighting the wolves, shouting, "Don't run, come here, help me break through to the spiritual lord realm." Chu Ling quietly wiped away her tears. This was the Feng Wu who once made the young masters of the imperial capital tremble in fear at the mere mention of her name. Cultivation consumes a lot of energy. I have to take good care of Mississippi. I heard wolf meat is very nourishing. If those little wolves could understand, they would probably be so angry they'd cough up blood. You two, master and servant, are truly a perfect match. 3 days later, the sword was drawn from the demon wolf's neck. Feng Wu looked at Chu Ling, who was making soup. Without even thinking, she knew what kind of soup it was. The wolf packs around here are getting smaller and smaller. I'm going into the valley to take a look. Chu Ling replied while stirring the soup. Okay, miss, remember to come back for dinner. Feng Wu walked off excitedly, calling out, two old wolves, where are you, where are you? The wolf cubs huddled behind the bushes, helplessly discovered by Feng Wu. She calculated with a glance. 1 pack can raise my level by 1, 2 packs can raise it by 2. Feng Wu smiled sweetly, her sword pointed at the cubs, praising, so cute, so cute. The little ones cried their eyes out, brothers run. That crazy woman is back. But before she could react, a voice came from behind her. Don't be afraid, miss, I'll save you. And so the victim was brought back to the world of the living by the young man. Before dying, the wolf cursed, beast, I'll have your life, leaving the culprit stunned. After taking care of everything, the young man turned to Feng Wu. Miss, why are you here alone? It's dangerous here. But before he could finish, his gaze met Feng Wu's. From Ning Qingxi's perspective, Feng Wu smoothed her hair and replied, May I ask for the young master's name? Qingxi's heart skipped a beat. This girl is truly beautiful. And so, Feng Wu found a new home in the young man's heart. Qingxi, but in reality, Feng Wu was filled with anger and disgust because he dared to steal her magical beast. Her voice icy, she asked, what's her name? Qingxi, excitedly enveloped in a pink, love-struck atmosphere, his eyes sparkling, replied, I am Ning Qingxi from the capital. May I ask if the young lady is betrothed? In his heart, he was already fantasizing about a destined encounter. The wilderness, a man and a woman alone. What else could this be but fate? Isn't this love? Feng Wu dismissively asked directly, Haha, Is your brain all right? She was extremely impatient with this young man, desperately trying to push the clingy fellow away. The Ning family of the capital is part of the Crown Prince's faction, Feng Jun's maternal cousins. Honestly, why do I run into him everywhere I go? Elsewhere, Linyuan sneezed repeatedly, affected by the curse. Feng Jun asked worriedly, Lord Linyuan, are you all right? Linyuan rubbed his nose and replied, I'm fine. Then he asked, is there still no news of Feng Wu? Feng Jun replied heavily, not yet. Linyuan couldn't help but worry. Xuan Yi sent news that Feng Wu had already left northern border city, and he was searching along the way, but still hadn't found her. Feng Wu, where are you? Time passed by. Chengxi continued to chatter nonstop behind Feng Wu. Listen, my father is the governor of Anyuan province, and my uncle is the minister of war and the grand chancellor. He busied himself helping her deal with the pesky snake demons, acting like a genuinely good person. Then he fanned her and shaded her from the sun, like a personal attendant. Oh right, Feng Jun, the little prince of the northern border, is also my cousin. I practically grew up with the crown prince. If you marry into our family, you're guaranteed a life of luxury. Feng Wu remained silent, observing him, and finally came to a conclusion. This guy has a good heart, and his strength is decent. Perhaps she could take him on as a follower. Having more people in the capital would be beneficial. But she also found Chengxi a bit naive, adding, his brain might be a little slow, but it should be treatable. Feng Wu finally spoke. Do you want to? Before she could finish, Chengxi had already dropped to one knee, his face as red as a tomato, blurting out, if the young lady doesn't mind, please spend the rest of your life with me. Feng Wu, cold as ice, rejected him outright. No, thank you. In her heart, she silently updated her notes. Hopeless. Completely hopeless. Chengxi, however, was not discouraged and continued to follow her. Good things come to those who wait. Don't worry. Where are you going? Mississippi. I have a spirit beast mount that can take you. Upon hearing about the spirit beast mount, Feng Wu's interest was immediately piqued. This closed-door cultivation had delayed her trip to the capital. Having a spirit beast might help her catch up. Feng Wu turned and asked, can it carry one more person? Since you're so wealthy, consider it a favor I owe you. Chengxi practically wagged his tail. Of course. The more the merrier. The scene changed, and they were already on their way to the capital. Chengxi explained along the way, Miss, up ahead is Ermio Temple. After meeting my mother and aunts, we'll continue on our journey. Feng Wu was tending to Chu Ling's wounds, thinking to herself, with more people, I'll have to change my plan. Chengxi comes from a prominent family, and the people around him are either rich or noble. I'll have to avoid acquaintances after entering the capital. Chengxi shouted from outside, it's just my mother, aunt, and cousin. 2 carriages, plenty of space. Up ahead, Jin Yin, the daughter of a high-ranking military official, was watching coldly. Cousin, why did you bring such a shabby carriage? No wonder you're late. We've been waiting for ages. Chengxi stepped forward and bowed. Mother, aunt. Chengxi's mother, Madame Ning, said, as long as you're safe, that's all that matters. Madame Jean also said, it's all right, you're not that late. Feng Wu and Chu Ling got out of the carriage. Feng Wu said, young Master Ning, since you have family here, we won't disturb you. From behind, Feng Lu gasped, you. Are you a human or a ghost? Feng Wu rolled her eyes, looking at the siblings and thinking, it's these 2 again. I didn't expect them to still be alive. Feng Wu approached Feng Lu and said, word by word, what do you think? Dear sister, Feng Lu was instantly enraged and lunged at Feng Wu. Impossible. You were surrounded by wolves. How could you have survived? You must be a demoness. You're a demoness. Feng Wu simply watched her little act calmly. As expected, Chengxi shielded Feng Wu. Stop. Feng Lu, her spiritual power weak, coughed up a mouthful of blood from the backlash. Ning Chengxi said coldly, let me explain. This Miss Feng Wu just escaped from a pack of wolves. Instead of showing concern, you attacked her. What is the reason for this? Iran defended Feng Wu, saying, young Master Ning, please don't be angry. My younger sister was also terrified by the wolves and acted impulsively. Yin Yin chimed in, yes, cousin. When we encountered them, they were being chased by wolves. It was chaotic. She then looked at Feng Wu with a scrutinizing gaze, her arms crossed as she questioned, hey, your brother and sister are being misunderstood, and you don't even bother to explain. Is this how you treat your own siblings? Feng Wu enunciated each word. Is this young lady joking? My brother and sister. She glanced at the pair and added, they are not worthy. Madame Yan's face darkened. Acting so recklessly just because you have some skills. Having such a ruthless woman in the family is a curse. Behind her, Madame Ning softly advised, sister, your words are too harsh. I think this young lady is straightforward and quite lovely. Feng Wu impatiently glared at Madame Yan. Qingxi spoke up. Mother, I invited this young lady to travel with us. She turned to Feng Wu to explain, young lady, please don't take it to heart. My mother is a bit old-fashioned, but she's not a bad person. Feng Wu chuckled softly. It's fine. I won't argue with someone who's about to die. Madame Yan's discomfort was evident. What did you say? Yin pointed at her angrily. How dare you? How dare you curse my mother? Feng Wu ignored her, saying indifferently, curse. What curse? Just that you wake up in the middle of the night with a racing heart, where you get a headache at precisely 3 in the afternoon, and a lingering pain in your lower abdomen after every meal. Each word she spoke was like a thorn in Madame Yan's ear, but Madame Yin still insisted, I forgot to close the window a few days ago during my nap and caught a slight cold. A few doses of medicine will do. It's not a terminal illness at all. Madame Ning, more perceptive, saw her sister's reaction and worried inwardly. Could what this young lady said be true? Thinking of this, she reached out to take Feng Wu's hand. Young lady, it's fate that we met on the road. Where are you headed? Before she could finish, Madame Ning suddenly clutched her stomach and screamed, ah, my stomach. Madame Ning was drenched in sweat, breathing weakly, my stomach, it hurts so much. Feng Wu glanced indifferently at Qingxi, who was helping her mother. Madame Yin rushed over anxiously. Sister, what's wrong? Yin, completely bewildered, interjected indignantly. It's all because of your crow's mouth. My aunt was perfectly fine, and now you've cursed her into this state. What are you trying to do? Feng Wu pulled out a silver needle from her sleeve. Seeing this, Yin desperately tugged at Qingxi's sleeve. Cousin, how can we let this woman of unknown origin treat my aunt? Qingxi retorted, this young lady diagnosed my mother's illness before she even showed symptoms. She must be skilled. Yin continued to chatter incessantly. She looks like a vixen. Cousin, you've been bewitched by her. Feng Wu, too lazy to respond, stuck a needle directly into Yin's neck, saying coldly, you're too noisy. The chattering stopped abruptly. Feng Wu meticulously applied acupuncture to Madame Ning, whose complexion gradually improved. Seeing her mother recover, Qingxi wept with joy. She's all right. Mother is all right. Iran watched from afar, consumed by jealousy. When did Feng Wu learn medicine? Madame Ning slowly sat up and asked, young lady, your medical skills are remarkable. May I ask your name? I will reward you handsomely when I return home. Feng Wu replied politely, no need. Life is precious. Please be careful on your journey to avoid premature labor. Qingxi looked at her with even more admiration. Oh, right, Feng Wu added, glancing at Yin. I'll return in 3 days to remove the needle from her neck. Feng Wu didn't linger, turning to leave and waving goodbye. We are not meant to travel together. Farewell. Qingxi helped them into the carriage and looked back at Feng Wu. Young lady, we truly share the same aspirations. Suddenly, the horse beside Feng Wu stumbled, and she narrowed her eyes, sensing something amiss. Chaos erupted as crows filled the sky. Feng Wu drew her sword, her expression grave. This is bad. Why are they here so early this year? She quickly mounted her horse and galloped away. Qingxi shouted anxiously, young lady, why are you in such a hurry? Feng Wu replied immediately, the demonic beasts are coming. Everyone, be careful. Hearing this, Qingxi urged, Aunt, Yin, quickly get in the carriage. The forest darkened rapidly, only the crimson eyes growing increasingly visible. Qingxi, riding behind, called out her thanks. Young lady, thank you for the warning. Feng Wu thought to herself, if only I had a spiritual beast mount, I would have flown away by now. But strangely, this time the magical beasts weren't stampeding chaotically as before, but seemed to be fleeing. Could they have suddenly realized something? Feng Wu's horse stopped abruptly. Feng Wu grew increasingly worried. Could the earth dragon be changing direction? Qingxi anxiously said, Miss, your horse is getting weaker and weaker. Why don't you get into my carriage? Inside the carriage, Yin, hearing their conversation, felt a pang of discomfort. Then I'll have to trouble you, young master, she said. Not at all. A murderous glint flashed in her eyes as she stared at the spiritual energy in her hand. That bitch dared to embarrass me. I want her life. As Feng Wu and Su Ling passed by the carriage, Yin Yin suddenly launched her attack. Chengxi, caught off guard, shielded them. Careful, grab my hand. Feng Wu finally saw the attack clearly. She nimbly dodged, but the attack pierced through the two spirit beasts. The injured spirit beasts lost their direction. Yin Yin couldn't even scream, only covering her face in terror. Inside the carriage, Madame Ning groaned in pain, clutching her stomach. "Ah, my stomach." Outside, Changxi panicked and shouted, "The Earth Dragon, and now a beast tide. Is the heavens playing a trick on us?" Feng Wu turned to Chu Ling and said, "Chu Ling, get in the carriage and take care of yourself and Madame Ning." Then she said to Chengxi, "Young Master Ning is using his spiritual energy to protect the carriage. You stay behind it." He said, "Miss, I'm so sorry to involve you. Don't worry about us. Just run." Feng Wu tightened her grip on the reins and said indifferently, "You think too much. I won't sacrifice myself for anyone." She threw the reins to Chengxi and added, "I believe in myself, not the heavens. What about you, young master?" His heart leaned towards Feng Wu even more. Without hesitation, he said, "Miss, I'm willing to listen to you." The distant beast tide was rushing towards them, countless in number. Feng Wu, standing on the carriage, asked, "Do you remember what I just said?" He answered seriously, "Listen to you." He flicked the reins, pulling them taut, and poured all his spiritual energy into the carriage's protection. She gripped her long sword tightly. "Good. We only have one chance." The beast tide roared closer, their red eyes filled with killing intent. Feng Wu raised her long sword high and shouted. Elsewhere, Yuma Rong was desperately using his spiritual energy to protect the carriage. Inside, Yin Yin said fearfully, "I haven't seen Aunt's carriage since earlier. Could it be that something has happened to Aunt and cousin?" Suddenly she screamed, "Ah, what's that?" Madame Yin, beside her, was bewildered. "Yin Yin, what did you see? Why do you look so pale? Could something have happened to your aunt?" Madame Yin also saw the scene and said in shock, "A bear. A carriage." He ran, hearing the commotion, asked what's wrong. Feng Wu, riding on the back of the giant bear, said triumphantly, "Illusionary drugs. You're not the only ones who can use them." Yin Yan's eyes turned green with envy. She gritted her teeth. That bear was clearly coming for us. This vicious woman, she's too cruel. So she channeled her spiritual energy into Iran. We can't let her succeed. The two desperately urged their spiritual energy to make their horses faster, but how could they compare to the giant bear's massive size? That little bit of spiritual energy wasn't enough. Yin Yin and Iran could only watch helplessly as they were caught up. The scene cuts to outside the capital city. A general asked the person beside him, "Has the young master found the person the crown prince is looking for?" The person replied, "Not yet." A subordinate ran towards them in a panic. "Sir, it's bad. A carriage is being chased by the beast tide and is heading straight for our city gates." Seeing them approach, he ordered, "What are you waiting for? Close the city gates." Seeing this, Chengxi shouted, "Don't close the gates. I am Ning Chengxi, son of the governor of Anyuan province. My mother is in the carriage." Feng Wu understood why they were closing the gates. The beast tide was too close, and the city guards were afraid of an incident. She thought to herself that she had to find a way to create some distance. Thinking of this, she glanced at the approaching beast tide. She sighed helplessly. "I really don't want to expose my spiritual power, but there's no other way." On the city wall, the people inside had already seen Feng Wu. Surprise flashed in the man's eyes. "It's her." He immediately leaped down. "Let them in. The person the crown prince is looking for is in that group." Feng Wu was struggling against the beast tide below. Seeing the man, she wondered, "It's him. He's here too." He moved with agility, his face cold as he fought against the beast tide. With a swing of his sword energy swept out, blocking the city gate. "Release the beasts." Chaos erupted before their eyes. Finally, he quelled the beast tide with a sharp sword. The person standing before her was none other than Zhuanyi. He tilted his head slightly towards Feng Wu. "Enter the city." She hurriedly carried Madame Ning out of the carriage and shouted, "Someone come quickly. Call a doctor. Save my mother." Madame Yin anxiously added, "Whoever saves my sister, the Ministry of Revenue will handsomely reward them." Chu Ling, standing not far away, said to Feng Wu, "Miss, why look any further? Your medical skills are also superb." Yin Yin trembled as she emerged from somewhere, forcing herself to speak. "A country bumpkin like you dares to talk about medical skills. How laughable. You dare to mock us. I won't let you off easily." Feng Wu ignored her completely, saying only, "Chu Ling, let's go. We need to continue our journey." Behind them, Yin was still persistent, shouting loudly, Feng Wu, you stop right there. Feng Wu, however, noticed the general beside Madame Ning and called out, Junior Apothecary Bao, come quickly. Madame Ning is here. He reassured, young Master Ning, please rest assured. Junior Apothecary Bao is Elder Bao's own grandson and has inherited his grandfather's secret refining techniques. Feng Wu silently repeated, Elder Bao's grandson. Junior Apothecary Bao appeared somewhat helpless. He lowered his head and said, Madame Ning has 5 broken ribs, and the fetus in her abdomen is also severely injured, likely with internal bleeding. I'm afraid I'm unable to do anything. Madame Yin looked at him in a panic, and Ning Qingxi was even more distraught. Junior Apothecary Bao, don't joke. Who in the capital doesn't know your reputation? How can you be helpless? Junior Apothecary Bao stroked his chin and asked, has anyone performed acupuncture on Madame along the way? Qinshu replied, yes. Upon hearing this, Yin immediately stepped forward to accuse, there must be something wrong with that acupuncture. I knew it. Cousin, I told you that little wretch was pretending. She's the one who harmed Aunt. Madam, Yin joined her daughter in the reprimand. If anything happens to my sister, I'll make you pay with your life. Feng Wu coldly interrupted, you likely won't live to see that day. Madame Yan's face became even angrier. Her teeth gritted. You little beast. Junior, bon morrer de l'esplanade. No. If it weren't for this young lady's acupuncture, Madame wouldn't have lasted this long. To save both Madame and the child's lives, we still need this young lady's help. Hearing this, both mother and daughter panicked. How can this be? The general added, Junior Apothecary Bao has practiced medicine in my city for many years, and this is the first time I've seen him admire someone so much. Qinshu also cast a pleading look. Miss, please. Feng Wu closed her eyes and replied, fine, consider it helping Elder Bao teach his grandson. Then she instructed, find a clean room and prepare hot water. Yin shouted indignantly, how dare you order Junior Apothecary Bao around? But Junior Bao happily ran off to fetch water. Inside the room, Madame Ning weakly said, Miss, thank you. If possible. Tears welled up in her eyes as she looked at Feng Wu. Please save my children. Tell them I love them. Feng Wu first used her spiritual power to heal her, then comforted her. Madame Ning, these are words you should tell them yourself. The light from Feng Wu's fingertips penetrated Madame Ning's body, reaching her heart meridian. Junior Bao, standing beside them, couldn't help but exclaim, amazing. So young, yet able to use the healing light so proficiently. If it were me, I'd have to cut open the skin to treat internal injuries. Feng Wu took out a small knife and instructed, next, we need to perform a cesarean section. One of the children has a nuchal cord. It will be quite difficult. Ning Qingxi cupped his hands and said, my mother and siblings' safety depends entirely on you, Mississippi. Not long after, 2 adorable babies were safely delivered. Junior Bao held one of the babies and exclaimed, the cord really was wrapped around its neck. Feng Wu gently touched the umbilical cord of the baby, entangled by it with her spiritual power, and then a cry rang out. Madame Ning was finally out of danger. She looked at Feng Wu gratefully. Thank you, Mississippi. Thank you, Junior Apothecary Bao. I will never forget your great kindness. Feng Wu politely replied, you're welcome. Hearing the baby's cry, Madame Yin also rushed in, sister, my sister. How is it? Seeing this, Yin was consumed with jealousy. How can this be? She actually survived, and they're twins. Meanwhile, Junior Bao, forgetting his earlier worries, smiled as he offered a basin of water to Feng Wu. Master, please wash your hands. In the distance, Chu Ling bit his sleeve, glaring resentfully at Junior Bao. That's my job. Feng Wu walked out of the room and said, the matter is settled. Let's continue our journey. Chu Ling immediately responded, yes, Mississippi. However, Shuang Yi blocked the doorway. No one can leave. Feng Wu asked in confusion, what do you mean? He explained, magical beasts are attacking the city. It's chaos outside. Feng Wu calmly said, then tell me, what's the situation in the city? He replied, the city's defense array is still holding. These hybrid demonic beasts are relentlessly slamming against the barrier like rain, completely unfazed. Feng Wu suddenly drops a bombshell. This wave of beasts is entirely due to the Earth Dragon's rampage. Until it calms down, the beasts will only keep coming, surging in an endless tide. Suddenly, Feng Wu feels like she's on a roller coaster, whooshing upwards, then boom. A massive earthquake hits without warning. Her heart leaps. What's happening? People rush out of their houses, screaming, run for your lives. The Earth Dragon has gone berserk. The situation is completely out of control. But just as quickly, everything falls silent. Apothecary Xiao Bao sits on the ground, looks at Feng Wu, and breathes a sigh of relief. It's over, right? Feng Wu nervously scans her surroundings. Oh no, it's spread this fast. At this moment, a large group of people rush over. Apothecary Xiao Bao, please help us. So many people are injured. Apothecary Xiao Bao immediately jumps up. Understood, leave it to me. But Feng Wu raises her hand. Wait, the crowd begins to misunderstand, shouting, wait for what? Lives are at stake. But Feng Wu remains composed, calmly stating, bring all the injured to the open space over there. The Earth Dragon is only resting temporarily. Hiding in the houses is more dangerous. And treating everyone one by one will only waste precious time and the apothecary's resources. Having said this, she turns and shouts, Chu Ling. She hands Chu Ling a bundle of cloth strips. Use these to separate the dead, the critically injured, the seriously injured, and the lightly injured. Leave the critical and seriously injured to me. You handle the rest. Someone stares at Apothecary Xiao Bao, suddenly invigorated, and points at him, shouting, whatever master says, I say. Get to work. In no time, the first aid kits are ready. Chu Ling is applying medicine to someone. This medicine was personally prepared by our miss. It's top-notch. You'll be fine soon. The person gratefully replies, thank you. Thank you. On the other side, a wound has been stitched up. Apothecary Xiao Bao wipes his forehead. All right, next. He sighs. This is much easier than before. I can save more people in the same amount of time. Chu Ling puffs out his chest, full of pride. Usually, it's officials and nobles who come to see the apothecary. Just the examination takes half a day. But our miss sees dozens of patients at a time. This is years of accumulated experience. Apothecary Xiao Bao is increasingly impressed. So young, yet her medical skills are already so advanced. Master truly is the best. Feng Wu comforts an injured person. You're all right now. The person looks at her weakly. Thank you, thank you. Feng Wu pats their shoulder. It's nothing. At this moment, Yin Yin suddenly appears, her tone sharp. Hey, your medical skills are not bad. This miss permits you to treat my mother now. Come with me. But all she receives is a cold refusal. Yin is persistent, putting her hands on her hips and shouting, I'm talking to you. She's about to grab Feng Wu's shoulder when several people step forward from behind. No, you can't be disrespectful to the apothecary. Yin is undaunted, shouting even louder, move. My father is a high-ranking military official. Who dares stop me? Those people look at each other, hesitating. Yin, thinking they're afraid, puffs out her chest and scoffs. Scared, aren't you? Then move. But unexpectedly, sickles and axes are raised. These people don't care about her status, retorting, even if your father was the emperor, it wouldn't matter. Yin finally becomes afraid. You. At this moment, Feng Wu speaks. I spend my time saving you, and this is how you repay me. They immediately cower and quickly apologize. In less than a minute, 3 tall men obediently lower their weapons and lie prostrate on the ground. Feng Wu then turns a cold gaze towards Yin. Yin is so frightened she can't speak. You, what are you going to do? If you dare touch me, my father will never let you off. Feng Wu holds up a small knife and waves it in front of her, threatening. Perfect timing. The city is short on soldiers and food. If I were to trade a part of you for manpower, how much do you think I could get? Yin Yan's face turns pale. Her previous arrogance is completely gone. Meanwhile, Chun Shi whispers to Shuang, I saw you chatting quite amiably with the young lady who saved my mother. Do you know her? Could you introduce me? Shuang coldly replies, do you have any money? Chun Shi looks confused. Why? Shuang says impatiently, the coffin shop only accepts cash, understand. Elsewhere, Yin glares fiercely at Feng Wu. That little vixen, I'll tear her mouth apart. Chun Shi quickly stops her, then turns to Feng Wu and apologizes. I'm sorry, Mississippi. My cousin is ignorant. I'll make sure my aunt disciplines her properly. After we returned, Feng Wu only gave her a cold warning, telling her to mind her own business. Yin shouted angrily, Cousin, why do you always take her side? The city is short of troops, and we're about to lose it. Yet she's still thinking of using me to ask my father to send reinforcements. Suddenly, Chun realized something. Reinforcements. He looked at the people in the city. his expression becoming resolute. Yes, I have to go for reinforcements. Yin Yin yelled from behind. Cousin, are you crazy? There are magical beasts everywhere outside. Going out is suicide. But before she could finish, Chen knocked her unconscious. He looked at Fong Wu and said, "Thank you, Mississippi. You saved my mother. My father is the governor of Linyuan province. I think the surrounding generals will give him some face. When I return, I will repay your kindness." Feng Wu shouted from behind. "Wait." She threw him a bottle of potion and instructed demon repellent. Although it can't guarantee absolute safety, it can buy you some time. The young Chan gratefully took the potion bottle. This was practically a lifesaver during the magical beast tide siege. He couldn't help but ask, "But I still don't know Mrs. name." Feng Wu replied indifferently, "Tell me when you return." The magical beast tide outside the city surged even more fiercely, and Shuang, he continued to fight. He was covered in blood, but the number of magical beasts only increased. The surroundings began to shake violently again, and people fled screaming, "Is the heavens going to destroy us?" Feng Wu stared at the barrier worriedly. Oh no, a huge crack has appeared in the protective array. A subordinate hurried to the general and reported, "General, the city's protective array is damaged and Master Lin is seriously injured." The general was shocked and asked what. Master Lin is a tier 3 spiritual array master. Where can we find such a high-level spiritual array master now? If the array can't be repaired, this place will be trampled flat by the magical beasts. Suddenly, the subordinate shouted, "General, look, it's alchemist Feng Wu." She climbed onto the array core. Feng Wu said to the general, "Although the array core is damaged, it can hold for another quarter of an hour. I will do my best to repair it." General Wu, "Ask everyone to hold on for another half a quarter of an hour. Do you trust me?" He hesitated for a moment. Could this girl really be a dual cultivation genius in both medicine and arrays? Things couldn't get any worse at this point. He turned and left. "All right, I'll leave this to you, miss." A large hole had been torn in the array, and the soldiers desperately held back the magical beasts. Hold on. Hold on. Feng was fully focused on repairing the array above. The damage to the array core is more serious than I thought. Even if it's repaired, it will require a large amount of spiritual power to restart. But my own spiritual power, plus these, I'm afraid it's still not enough. The tide of magical beasts continued to assault the crowd. Ah, help. Help. At this moment, Feng Wu could only give it her all. No, I have to risk it all. Faster. A magical beast behind her targeted Feng Wu. She cursed inwardly. Damn it, my spiritual power is exhausted. She forcibly mobilized the last trace of her spiritual power, completely ignoring the magical beast behind her. Just a little more. If only I had enough spiritual power. Suddenly, a sword light slashed at the magical beast from behind. It was Jun Linyuan. He had finally arrived in time. Seeing him, Feng Wu called out in her heart, "Jun Linyuan." He reached out to Feng Wu, who was filled with gratitude for his arrival. Feng Wu tightly grasped Jun Linyuan's hand and whispered, "Just in time.